quite a lot of it.
I remember playing the demo on the 3DS, and I liked it. I just never really got around to buying it and playing it.
Everything I've
Now
seen
that
from
there's so much crazy shit that you can do with the Miis, I think I'm gonna get it.
everything I've seen from Noel makes it look ridiculous, and I don't know. It still feels like kind of an idle game or a side game. Like you can't actually sit there and actively play it.
It
but-
kind of is, from what I remember of playing the demo. Like you do have full actions over, what your character does. Like in combat,
Yep.
I think a lot of the charm and the main like gameplay of it comes from like making your characters bond, because that will actually make them like do more shit in combat, even though it is like automatically done.
Yep.
Like you put characters in a room overnight, they get closer together, and then they'll start like protecting each other and like attacking people that attack them in combat. It's really cute.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh.
there's like a food system.
There
I
is like a
remember.
food system, and the jobs are just interesting.
The fucking outfits and shit you get too.
Yeah.
I
Right
remember I had a
now-
guy that was dressed up like a bee.
Yes, the bee. The bee is real good. There's a bee sword and like a bee set of armor. My character right now is it's basically in a partial fursuit, but also has on overalls. He's wonderful.
Are you poodling?
What was that, Vic?
Are you poodling?
No, he has on fursuit arms and ears. He's catboying.
He's catboying. Okay, perfect. Anyway, I'm back. We have a small group. It might be a short
Hello.
session. We're down like 3 people. Frisk might actually be dead this time. One of these times he's really going to be dead, and it's going to be terrible, and it might be this time.
Oh no, that would be
Can
bad.
we have a hypothetical moment of silence?
Well, let's have a hypothetical moment of silence.
Since it's actually hypothetical, do we have to actually be silent? Or?
No. And I already did it, so
Respect.
Okay, yeah, I'm done.
I'm done. We did it.
We're good. We're good.
Fuck,
All
man.
right, Frisk.
When we left off, some shit happened. You guys were in the Umraj Mastaba. You discovered a room that was once kind of a temple that Elise mentioned was allegedly kind of a channel or a pathway down to the river Styx, but it was very restricted. And when you got there, you found that it had been, I don't know, blown to smithereens, and there was a big black void and a bunch of swirling energy in it that kind of looked like Crosswinds. There were a bunch of cultists that were incapacitated until Nomad found a spool of magical thread that was very, very powerful and seemed to be part of a bigger artifact. And when he touched it, they all woke up and fought and were quickly defeated except for one that fled. Nordo and Gale gave chase, while everybody else kind of stayed behind and talked to Uno, one of the cultists, who was pretending to be incapacitated the whole time. But she kind of explained that she seems to be unable to speak or even write, but she is able to kind of draw and communicate a little bit that way. And as all of this was going on, Nomad realized that the magical thread that he had touched was being pulled into this big portal at the center of the anomaly, and decided, in the interest of science, to jump in and see what happened. And that's basically where we left off. That was... well, we'll just pick up right where we left off. If you guys have anything that you immediately want to do, let's start with that. But if you plan on just kind of sitting and waiting and seeing what happens to Nomad, we can fast forward a little bit.
Give me 1 second. I don't ever remember what spells I have on Flick.
Sure.
I mean, message, but that probably won't help. Knowing that Rari's got cut off as soon as he went through there, right?
Yes, you guys have lost telepathic connection to him.
Okay. So is he dead, or what do we think happened?
I mean, he's probably dead. I don't want to be a pessimist or nothing, but
I mean, he seemed pretty sure of himself, but that doesn't mean he wasn't wrong.
Well, I don't know where he went, but the one of these fellows that got away isn't anywhere to be seen.
Nordo, can you do that thing where you talk to a bug or something and make the bug go in the hole?
Wow. Okay, so...
hey, shoot!
So... Oh yeah, that works too.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that.
So far back in this town, I've seen like not one single living animal of any kind. Are there any animals around?
Ah, boy. Are you staying in the temple, or are you willing to like go out and look? Where are you looking?
I'm not gonna go far, but I'll like go out front and see if I can find, I don't know, literally a bug or a bird or something.
Sure. You could give me like survival or investigation.
Love to do that. Just as soon as my character sheet loads.
Sure.
Can I help with survival?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The two of you kind of begin to scour the town, and within the city and nearby, you find nothing. You do actually find a number of catatonic creatures. You find a couple of cats, a handful of rats, and they are easier to find than they were before because instead of just standing still and doing nothing and presumably muttering to themselves like last time, Nordell,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but are the rats ratatonic?
they are ratatonic. Or rather, they are not ratatonic anymore. They are instead twitching in place, spasming a little bit, kicking at sand, laying on their side. Um, they. It's hard to tell exactly what's going on. Nordo, you've seen rabid animals before. It looks a little bit like this, but with even less control over their motor skills. Many of them are either like blind or unable to stand up straight. They appear to just be kind of having these involuntary convulsions. And you've noticed during the search very quickly as well that all of the people are in the same state.
Right. And I think last time I did a medicine check and determined that they don't appear to be like in mortal danger, like about to die or anything, right? They seem like one of them, his like neck had a fire on it or something, but it wasn't a real fire.
Yeah, you have noticed. Hey, you have to get kind of close. It's bizarre, even though from up close it looks very bright and visible, like it should be visible from far away. It's only visible to your eyes when you get within about 10 or 15 feet of it. But between the shoulder blades of most of these people, and kind of at the base of the neck or between the shoulders, depending on the anatomy of the creature, even a lot of the animals have these tiny little sparks of white fire. This kind of ghastly flame. It's not hot to the touch. And it doesn't seem to be actually like burning or damaging them. It just seems to kind of be pouring out of the backs between their shoulder blades.
Boy.
Oh, right. Sorry. With your 26, though, you do both eventually realize that towards the outskirts of town, especially down to the south, you do see live flying birds kind of hovering in the sky. Many of which are flying in circles and are quite large. They look like probably vultures or buzzards.
Is there one of these weird or ratatonic rats nearby? Or not ratatonic?
Yeah, you could definitely find one kind of like skittering on the porch of one of the houses nearby.
Let me make a morality check. Wow. Extremely moral. Ruining everything, Nordo. Okay, I'm gonna pick up one of these seizuring rats and bring it with me back.
All right, easy enough to do. And although it seems to be like kind of twitching and not having a great time, it doesn't react violently. In fact, it doesn't seem to really react at all. It seems blind to all of its senses.
Okay. Well, since Nomad's not here, I'll find Gale. So, do you think if I send this thing through there, it's gonna harm it? Is it gonna hurt it or anything? I mean, Nomad didn't seem too worried about going in there, but we don't really know, do we?
For what it's worth, I don't think Nomad should be a benchmark for how much we should fear the unknown.
No, I agree. I'm glad I got Gale to talk to about it. I feel like he'll give me a no-nonsense answer.
I think that Nomad made a choice that was stupid, and we can't. There are a lot of people that need help here, and I'm quite frankly not in the mood to be jumping into random vortexes anymore when we don't know where they're going to take us.
Well, Nordo looks
This is
down
like
to
the
the
third one we've encountered, and that's my limit, man.
Nordo looks down to the
No, you gotta draw a line.
twitching rat in his hands and is like, "Well, I didn't mean us. I don't want to hurt this little fella. They can be avoided. But if I can look through its eyes and send it through there, see what it sees. But I don't want to hurt it. You think that's going to hurt it down there?
I don't know.
I mean, I hope it doesn't, because if it does, that means that Nomad got hurt, but I feel like it might be worth the rat risking it to see if Nomad's alive or not, you know? That's just
Rats are
me.
very adaptable.
I'm not huge on rats to begin with, but I feel like it'd be okay. If
You guys
anything's going to
please both make
survive through
persuasion
that,
checks.
it's a rat or a cockroach.
I'm glad Yule isn't here.
She
No
had her
joke.
choice. She's
Oh,
been mean to me.
We should throw Yule in.
Perfect. Wait,
It's perfect.
just
Yeah.
go get
Kick
patches.
Grandma's wheelchair through the fucking vortex.
This is how it starts, guys. We get patches into this portal, and that's how this whole like multiverse splitting into different worlds thing happens.
Do we want that?
I think so.
Oh.
Okay. Well, you guys are persuasive enough that Nordo will sit down and start doing his this thing. Where'd it go? Takes 10 minutes, but after 10 minutes, I can see through this rat's eyes.
Hear what it hears. Do so until you use your action to return your. All right.
And
Cool.
for what it's worth, it shows no limitations for being on the same plane or any distance, but I don't know about being in a whole different world.
It does it.
So after that's done, I will, like, toss the rat down towards the portal.
All right. What you experience as you toss it in is a bizarre experience. At first, you just kind of, when you very first connected this thing, as it's still twitching and flailing, what you see, and I'm double checking my notes. Okay, yes, still the same as before. You see through what its eyes see. So you see back at yourself in this room and the party around you, kind of twitching and involuntarily spasming. Its eyes continuing to just kind of stare straight ahead, but you can tell that there's a lot of activity going on. And then you kind of gently toss this thing through the low to no gravity towards this portal. And you've been through portals before. You kind of know what to expect. There's usually a rush of color, a bunch of flashing lights that whiz by, sort of a weird sickness to your stomach, maybe some weird tumbling sensations, and then you appear on the other side. And the effect is almost as instantaneous as walking through a door. But what happens when you toss this in is everything seems to slow down to a crawl as it approaches. You can tell, just based on the way that you threw it, even though you can't see through your own senses currently, that it probably should have fallen into the hole after maybe 6 or 7 seconds. But around the 4 or 5 second mark, everything starts to just stretch. It seems to grow longer. Everything seems to move slower. Looking back at yourself, you can see that you almost seem to slow down to a freeze. You get this sudden clarity. The light begins to kind of intensify. Everything gets very, very bright. And I don't know if you're familiar enough with like PC gaming or video game bugs, but Drake might be. Where when you draw the same buffer without clearing it over and over, and it causes that weird pixel bleed where all of the colors become very intense until it becomes like bright reds and then whites. That's kind of what happens here. All of the light just seems to keep stacking on itself in slow motion until it becomes this solid wall of bright white light. And this goes on for a minute, and then another minute, and then 3 or 4 minutes pass, and it is just this solid white light.
Okay. I won't leave it senses just yet. I'll just stay in them in case anything changes, but I'll tell everyone else what I just saw, describe it. Nordo's not nearly as verbose, but he'll describe it.
Yep.
Everything's bright light.
As we're watching this, do we see the rat disappear?
Yeah, so on the outside, you guys watch him toss it in, and it kind of gently starts to drift in, and it gets faster and faster as it accelerates towards this portal. And then you see a whoop, and it's kind of sucked in and it's gone, and that only takes 8 or 9 seconds.
Hey, that rat's gone, buddy.
Can't hear you.
I will message Nordo that.
Sure, I'll say that's good enough to like kind of pierce through the beast sense and get through to him.
Okay. I'll just say out loud. I got an hour of this. I'll watch, make sure nothing changes. Just seeing light right now, but just tap me on the shoulder a few times if you need me to come out.
Yeah,
Alright.
I guess we've got time to kill.
Just don't go towards the light. I've heard that's bad.
I think that might be something different.
Okay.
I will say, if
Unless,
this is
Nordo, do you feel like you're dying?
I don't think so. There's been a couple times I came awful close to dying that I saw like lakes and stuff, but here I just see a bunch of white light. And do I hear anything? Does the rat hear anything?
You kind of would actually. It would begin as just the normal ambient sounds of the room around you, and then as you start to kind of get closer and closer to this, and as time slows down, the sounds also begin to stretch until they just become sort of a low hum. But then as time goes on, that hum does grow louder and louder into sort of a sparkling static until it's about as loud as a TV screen. And then louder and louder, and probably by the 6 or 7 minute mark, it's actually starting to get kind of painfully loud.
Okay, I'll describe that as well. Something is changing. It's getting louder. If this is where Nomad is, I don't know if he's safe or not, or alive or dead. Don't see him anywhere.
Alright, well, keep going as long as you can. If it gets painful, come out, but I'm curious if he came out someplace else, like if this is a tunnel or something. But instead of a dark tunnel, it's a light tunnel. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense, but
So this is a weird question. Is the rat still like twitchy and seezy and crazy right now? Or is it turned into normal rat?
It would almost just be kind of hard to tell. Like all you can
Okay.
really sense is the light and the sound, and I don't think you get other.
Oh, yeah, I don't get its
senses.
feelings. Never mind. You're right.
Yeah. For the sake of kind of moving things along, over the next 10 to 20 or 30 minutes, you don't hear or see anything of the rat or of Nomad. You can tell that this portal is slowly slowing down and shrinking. It's going to be a slow process. It's not happening over the course of minutes, but probably over the course of hours or so. But you can definitely tell that it is becoming less violent and it is growing a little bit smaller over time.
Can I go take a look outside and see how the people are doing? Has there been any change to them, or are they still kind of freaking out?
30 minutes later, everybody kind of appears to be in that weird twitching state. You can still see the like bursts of white magical fire from between their shoulder blades. It kind of seems the same. The same as it was 5 or 10 minutes ago, as opposed to how it was a few hours ago.
Should we try some sort of critter what doesn't have this weird fire on them? Maybe that's why it's not working. I guess I don't know that it's not working. This might just be what it does.
I don't know. I kind of think maybe we should close it.
Is that something you could do?
I
I
can
think it's kind of doing
try.
that on its own. Just real slow, like.
I might be able to speed up the process.
If you do that, I'll keep looking through the rat and see if something changes when it closes.
At the mention of this, Una does kind of point to an old drawing that she did. I assume that she's kind of off to the side, still communicating with Ace. But she kind of has this, and this goes through, and then there's a little bit of this. Except she does add a figure to this side.
There's that nomad. I see he got his space.
Oh, it's the thread. He's got the thread. Maybe that's why this is acting differently for him.
Right, forgot about the thread.
And if we get rid of the thread, does that kill everybody here?
Oh boy, what would you? Let me actually roll that. I don't know if she would know that. She kind of shrugs a little, but then she kind of taps back down, and she at least does this.
So we can't close the portal with the thread? I'm not sure I understand.
I'm going to take her drawing. I'm going to scribble yes, maybe, and no on top of it. And I'm just ask her, all right, which of these, if we can close the portal, is that bad? Do you know?
The first thing that she does is she spends like a minute or so drawing a check mark, an X, and a question mark over each of them, and like clarifying that she's got them lined up correctly. When she looks at the words, she kind of like squints funny. She gives this weird, like scrunched up look to her face. It is bizarre. It seems that she has trouble understanding, but once she replaces it with symbols, she is able to get a better piece or a picture of what's going on. And then to save time, we'll kind of just use that system. She eventually responds with a maybe on that one.
Do you know where that goes?
No.
Are you responsible for opening it?
Um, she taps the yes, but then she holds up her hand and does the little pinch symbol, like little bit. She kind of like motions around to the bodies of the other cultists nearby.
Is this, if the portal closes, will those people wake up or stay as they are?
She scribbles out a quick skull.
So they
Is this-
die.
Yeah. Is this portal why Zuanu's angels are here?
She kind of goes back and forth between yes and maybe.
Hmm.
Do you know how to save these people?
She ponders for a long time, and you can tell she kind of like does the thinking face and tries to sort through some ideas. She doesn't look super confident, but she does eventually kind of scribble out. That.
So the knot in the thread that Nomad took, we undo it, the people will be better?
She nods. She points to yes.
And just getting rid of the thread isn't going to do anything.
She just taps no. It's easier for now.
Is there still a piece of thread on this side?
Give me a perception check. As you look down there, it's bizarre because it gets swept up in all of the other light that's happening and the weird distortion effect of this portal. But you do see that there is just a little bit of a loop of luminescent thread that looks like it is kind of coming out of the portal, doing a quick loop, and then going back into the portal. It's probably about 7 feet or so of it.
Does anybody here have a fishing rod?
If someone asks
Oh, I
that to
do.
Nordo, he says he does.
All right. You guys want to test your fishing skills and see if we can pull that out?
Sure, why not?
I ever tell you all about my first fishing trip?
No, I haven't heard this story. Can you tell it word for word off of memory?
Probably not. Something about a beetle.
All right. The two of you, let me get dexterity fishing checks.
Nordo probably doesn't come out. I want to. I know it's probably a dead end, but I want to stay on that rat for the whole hour that I can in case it changes.
That's fair. That's fair. Yep. Flick has spent plenty of time doing this.
So add a d4. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Great.
Hell yeah. It's bizarre. It probably, even with a 22, takes you a couple of tries because the thing you realize very quickly is that when you cast your line, it starts to fly out towards this thing with a pretty significant amount of force.
Huh.
But with some practice and with a very stable hand and a lot of skill with it, you were able to kind of lower this hook down until it catches around this thread. And when it does, you can see that it emits light a lot brighter, and now it becomes very clearly visible even from back here. That there is still a loop of this about 7 feet or so, so 3.5 feet out, and then it loops and then goes 3.5 feet back in. That is now kind of caught with your fishing hook. And as you begin to kind of reel and pull taut, you feel a ton of resistance. You begin to almost immediately discern that you're basically tugging on a stationary object.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting that in. Too much pull on it. Oh, it's stuck on something else deep in there and I can't get it out. I don't know. I don't think I can do it though.
Uno does kind of tap to the knot again.
I don't think I can get the knot out with a fishing hook.
Just so that I can make sure that I'm remembering how last session did exactly, like the specifics. Nomad found the end of a thread that was leading into this thing. He clasped it like into a spool sort of device, and it started like reeling into the portal. And then he just like yeeted himself in and jumped in, spool in hand, right?
Correct.
Okay. So like maybe he created a knot by jumping in there with it.
Yeah, probably. What stat is morality?
That's kind of your call. Charisma, maybe?
I always call it wisdom.
I could see that.
Charisma and wisdom, I think, are both good ones for it, though. Do it, you won't. I wish to God I was on Toklo right now. I would have been gone.
He wouldn't have, he would have been the first one jumping in.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't have stayed for the fight.
For the record, I know that this is a bit awkward meta because Frisk is dead. But don't.
So it's not that awkward because I don't like Nomad, so I'm kind of okay with us leaving him. The issue is that Kingdom's also not here, so the thing that I want to do, I can't.
What did you want to do? I'm curious.
You know what? Kingdom's not here, so I'm gonna do it because I can.
Hell yeah,
He's not
do
here to stop me. I'm gonna.
Wait, Gale, don't.
We have Uno's untied, right?
Uno's untied.
All right. I'm gonna ask her, can you untie the knot?
She nods and she kind of reaches down to just the string on her cloak and she points to yours and she just unties a knot on it and she does a ta-da.
Can you untie that knot though?
Yeah, she nods. She kind of points to that and points to the hole and she just kind of does they're the same thing.
I'm gonna draw very shittily.
Hell yeah.
This Gale has no art skills whatsoever. I'm gonna draw 3 hourglasses. One's gonna be very small, one's gonna be medium, one's very large. And say, how long is it gonna take you to untie that knot?
She'll point to the small one. Ooh, hang on. Let me double check the thing real quick. Hang on. Pew. She is going to draw. She draws a little circle like the portal, and then she draws the 3 hourglasses, or she uses the 3 that you've already drawn. But then she draws 3 hourglasses on the other side of it, and then she draws mismatched lines, a line between the big one on one side to the little one on the other side, and then the medium one to the small one on the other side, and she kind of gives a shrugging motion.
Okay.
Do it.
So if this wouldn't work, I won't do this. And you can choose as a DM to tell me after I tell you what I'm going to do.
Sure.
But I'm going to say, okay, go untie that knot and hold on to this. And I'm going to hand her a stick of dynamite, cast Banishing Smite on it, and kick her in.
Oh, boy. Oh, holy shit. Okay, let me check a thing.
So Banishing Smite needs a weapon attack, which isn't dynamite.
I like it, though. It's good, and it's also a 5th level spell. I feel like you can do some weird stuff with it. She can banish it if it's needed. Target disappears, return to his home plane. Okay. Boy. Alright. As you're preparing all of this, she gets the impression that you're planning on going in. And she draws 2 pictures of 2 people falling into a hole. And in one of them, there is just the person in the hole, and then she draws a skull on the other side. But on the other picture, there's the person, there's the hole. The person is holding a thread, and then there's a check mark on the other side. And she seems to be giving you this advice, thinking that you're about to be the one that jumps in. And then you hand her the dynamite, cast Vanishing Smite on it, and light it, and then you're just grabbing her and throwing her in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Tie a rope to her.
Give me. Sure, give me
We already know we can't pull her back through.
Give me an athletics check.
All right.
I approve this plan.
I like it too.
Nordo doesn't. I approve this plan.
She also doesn't, so she will try to resist, but
Damn it. I'm so good at athletics.
you are actually really good at athletics.
You're a strong boy.
Surely she's surprised and he has advantage.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I even said that she was surprised. So 26.
Oh, I couldn't cast guidance because I cast banishing.
Oh, that's fair. You got it anyway. 22 versus 18. All right, she seems to be preparing to help you do this, and then you just kind of grab her by the shoulder and shove her down. Let's see how this goes. Okay.
Yep.
Thank God she's not dead. As she starts flailing that way, she clings onto the stick of dynamite in one hand, and then as she approaches this thing with her velocity rapidly accelerating, she clutches onto a bit of the thread before she enters. You see it lights up. Flick, if you don't release it, you feel a tug on your fishing rod, and it starts to spool out. And she disappears into this portal.
Okay, well, I guess I'll try reeling it in.
All right,
See
excellent.
how that goes.
Perfect. Boy, I really wish Frisk was here.
I'm good waiting, but
Yes, I hate to ruin this moment without him here if it's going to be a
Yeah,
thing.
this is a really awkward session.
It
Mhm.
is, and I apologize.
So many people that. No, it's fine. It's not your
I feel
fault
like-
that Frisk died.
Ace would have a lot of objections to this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a couple things real quick. First of all, somebody give me a D3.
Oh boy, I'm gonna do it. Is that good? Is the 3 good?
That's good.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. Good.
Ooh, that's not so good.
All
It
right.
might be athletics at this point.
I was gonna say it's going to be a strength check at this point to start reeling him.
Okay. So athletics or just draw strength?
It'd be like a strength fishing check, but I could also see athletics.
I guess it
If you're
doesn't matter.
proficient,
I'm not. I thought I was, but apparently I'm not.
yeah. All right, perfect. You begin to reel on this thing, and you are met with this same resistance. And in fact, it seems to be now that instead of just trying to reel in a stationary object, you're trying to reel in a bulldozer that is pulling away from you, albeit very, very, very slowly. However, after about 45 seconds, and just as it seems that you're like going to lose your fishing rod, you can suddenly feel a give. And it's short at first, and then it catches in and it goes back in. But then another 10 seconds or so pass, and then you feel another give. And although you are failing to do it on your own strength, you can tell that there is at least some give now. And if you could, like, find a way to apply more force, you might be able to pull back.
Like Nordo. Nordo, help.
Nordo hears nothing and is looking through the vision of a rat. Then do I see Uno?
Damn it.
You don't.
Total
Okay.
going.
I was
All
gonna
right.
say, I'd imagine this is like a very comical scene where like 5 people line up behind the one guy holding the
Yep.
fishing pole and reeling like the monster fish.
Hell yeah.
Toto grabbed Flick by the belt and was just pulling.
All
It's
right.
like that beach picture.
Let me get some strength checks from a couple of you.
I'll vote not me.
Strength or athletics?
Athletics is good.
Oh, thank God.
There we go.
Oh, thank goodness.
All right. Toto kind of clamps down,
I'm helping.
and you're helping, and starts to put some of those very strong mechanical parts to work, and eventually just kind of takes over for Flick, and begins to pull and pull and pull, and you can see that he's making steady progress as he starts to just kind of yank back from the edge, like a dog playing with a rope. And after probably a good minute or so of just kind of pulling, there is a flash of white, and you see a body emerge from it. You see a moving, living body of Uno emerge from it, although it is covered in snow and ice. She's chattering, she's shivering, she looks awful. But she is clinging onto this thread as you're pulling it out with the fishing rod. And although the force from the portal is trying to pull her back in, she does seem to be free, and you are eventually able to reel her back out to the surface, where she gives a
Yeah,
big
I'll-
thumbs up.
I'll help reel her in with like water whip or whatever if I need to, and then I'm gonna put my cloak on her,
Excellent.
warm her up. Maybe do a little bit of fire bending too. You all right? You didn't die down there, did you?
She shakes her.
You'd tell us if you were dead, right?
She gives a little bit of a wishy-washy, and she points. She points down, kind of off to the side of this portal. Give me a perception check. now that she's pointed it out. Okay. Vasu, it's still a little hard to see because there's a lot going on. There's just swirling debris and light and energy. But Gail, now that she's pointed out, you do see that over by where she was initially pretending to be incapacitated, you do see that kind of clinging to another rock, there is another body about the same size as Uno. And you realize after a couple seconds of inspection that it's not clinging, it's the rock is through it. It is skewered by a shard of rock. And she kind of like points to that and points back, and she gives a shrug.
I should be dead, I guess, but I'm not.
Is that you?
She nods, yeah.
Oh, okay. How many more of there are you?
Um,
I'll hold up my fingers and be like, point at them.
so she initially she holds up two fingers, and then she points to the body floating over by the wormhole, and then she puts one of the fingers down, and then she uses that last finger to point to herself.
But that's not what Uno means. I say as I shake her.
She gives you a weird look and kind of a squint.
Do you want that you back? Can you do anything with it? Should we have a moment of silence at least?
She looks indifferent at first, but then she kind of like perks up and she gets a thought, and she's like, she starts to draw, and she draws a book with lots of swirly, sparkly bits around it.
Did that one have a different book? I say as I kind of like pull the book I took out.
Yeah,
I took from this Uno last session.
Yeah, she nods.
Okay. Is the portal still like very actively sucking us in right now?
It actually.
Do I feel like I could get over there and grab?
It definitely is still active, and in fact, it actually seems to have grown a little bit with that flash of light that ejected her. But the intensity of the gravity feels about the same, and this body is far enough away that it's kind of just floating harmlessly.
Okay. Yeah, I've got 120 feet of. Actually, I think it's even more now. Let me look at my cloak again.
All right. While you're doing that, Norda, what's up?
So Uno has re-arrived, and she has the thread now. We have the end of the thread.
Flick was able to reel in with all of your help bits of the thread. And you're able to pull it out at least enough of a length of it that it reaches back up here, and you can all kind of like touch it and reach it. With that said, it still doubles back and goes into the hole.
Okay.
The dead Uno is about 45 feet away.
Perfect. I will use 2 dashes from my cloak of canned heat to just like dash over there, grab her, and dash immediately back. Hopefully that'll help with all the gravitational bullshit.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me acrobatics just to make it official, but this is pretty easy for you.
I'm so fat!
Easy peasy. Yeah, you're able to just kind of zip over there, and you do find that there is another tome. This one is kind of bound in this leathery black skin, and it has it just looks like a necromancer's spellbook, right?
Yeah,
it's got a skull on it.
Yeah, I was about to ask what kind of detect magic I got off of it, but I imagined necromancy already.
Yeah, off of it.
I'm not going to give this back to her right away, but I will say, if I could, I'll pick up the whole Uno and not just the spellbook.
Yeah, easy enough for you to do.
Okay.
She's very small. Well, okay, actually, she's.
You guys want to see me grab that Boyd over there?
She is.
You want to see me do it again?
Give me an athletics check to see if you can yank it free of the rock without any issues.
How fresh is this body?
Vasu is able to pull it free and get it back, and once you get it there, you can tell that it looks like it's been dead for probably a week or so, maybe.
Huh.
With a medicine check, you could probably narrow that down a bit more.
I will do it or give a help action because I'm proficient.
Sure.
But my wisdom is also not the best.
I can come out and do it if someone.
Actually, my wisdom's pretty good. It's 18. What am I talking about? Oh wait, I'm not proficient in medicine. What am I talking about?
Norda will come out at this point and check on that.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
We'll see some other things anyway.
Yeah.
Start with that.
Yeah, you can tell that this body was definitely killed by impalement. It was pretty quick, and it happened probably. Double checking. I think it was 8 days ago. I believe that's correct. I'll have to double check, but I think it was 8 days ago.
Okay. In order to look to this body and to surviving Uno with a little bit of confusion, and to the thread, say you were able to go in there on account of having the thread.
She nods, yes.
Should I go get another rat, wrap the thread around it?
I mean, it might help if that's the determining factor in where you go.
And if
I mean, that at
to
least
get us to Nomad, I just want to make sure Nomad's okay. If I can get some eyes to wherever he'd been.
that at least means he's probably not, you know, whatever happened to that rat.
Right.
Did you see him, Uno?
She shakes her head no, but then she's gonna do a drawing, but it might take me a second, so feel free to continue questioning her while she draws.
Okay. While she starts sketching, I will run outside and go grab another rat.
Sure, easy enough to do.
While you're up there, can you check on the people and see if they've made any changes?
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Yeah, first glance around, kind of the guard in the hall and some of the people in the courtyard, and also just out front and in front of the mastaba. No change. It seems that most of them are still in the same state.
Also,
Okay.
can you grab another rat for Shu? He's hungry.
I'll grab. I'm feeling I'm gonna need a stockpile of rats, so I'll get as many rats as I can find and carry,
Yeah.
or other small vermin, bugs, whatever I can carry.
Yeah, you're able to get yourself probably a couple rats, a bird, and I don't know, maybe a cat if you're willing to stoop to that level. But cats
Oh,
are
yeah.
special.
I am willing to stoop to that level.
Flick isn't. He steals the cat.
I
You
for the
saying
record,
birds ain't special?
I rolled for if I was willing to stoop to that level, but I was. Also, Norda doesn't even like cats. Or dogs. Which pains me to say.
Flick, as a man of the sea, do you happen to know any weird knots that you could do with a looped piece of thread that you could tie around the rat so that it kind of slowly goes down but is still touching the thread? Because I don't think in this state they can really hold a thread on their own.
Right. Probably.
Almost certainly. Give me a sailing check.
Okay, 1 second. My leg's asleep, so everything is painful.
You mean the poop loop?
Fuck.
Thank you, I'm glad you got that.
Yes, you would definitely be aware of at least one rope trick that would do that.
You can say poop,
Poop loop.
The poop loop. You would know of the poop loop.
Yeah, there's this thing called the poop loop. I can do it. It's give me the rat, I guess.
As you are tying the poop loop around the rat, she does finish her drawing and kind of points to it over here.
Sorry, I had to come back over from feeding my cats, but there's this thing called the poop loop, and I know how to do it.
What?
That's what you said. That's a
Gross.
wonderful phrase.
Oh no. It's where you both eat each other's ass. It's like 69
Oh.
but for
Poop back and forth forever.
God.
no.
We're
Well-
gonna get banned.
Yeah, I'm banning all of you, actually. I'm not even going to wait for Twitch to do it.
Don't threaten me with a good time. So I look at this drawing. Does it look like? Oh, I guess I'll just ask her. So if I throw this rat down there, it's gonna tear its heart out and put it in the what?
She shakes her head, and then she taps to the rat that you've got in the rope, and then she taps to this rat.
Oh, so if it ain't got no thread around it, it'll tear its heart out.
She shakes her head no again.
It'll go to a different place if it has the thread than the other rat did.
She stops and thinks. She realizes she's not getting the point across, and she tries to figure out how to illustrate it.
The ace is way better at this. I wish he wasn't dead. I mean, asleep.
You got pretty explosive diarrhea all of a sudden.
He did.
Better start drawing fast because I'm getting ready to do some more kicking.
Oh no.
I say, Norda doesn't wait a whole long time because
Yeah,
she's worried about Nomad.
she kind of just like gives a motion with her hand that says like, it doesn't matter, just go ahead and do it.
Yes.
Okay.
While you do that, can I do something that's probably very invasive, but Gail's very concerned, and quite frankly, she caused a lot of this, so she doesn't really care about her feelings a ton.
Can't
Absolutely.
confirm.
Can I check her, like, just look over Uno completely and basically check if her butt is missing a cubic inch of flesh?
Absolutely. Give me an investigation check. And you know what? Actually, there is something else that you guys should have seen on that medicine check from earlier, too, that I will tell you as you're doing this investigation check. Moat can divine sense, presumably, and will be able to tell that she does have a faint aura of undeath about her.
Okay.
Dude,
Figured, but
Okay. Two things, some of which Gale finds now, and some of which probably came up actually during the medical investigation, but it doesn't really kick in until now when you start to study the differences between these two bodies. First of all, you can see that this body appears whole, but on the other body there is a pretty heavy scar around her left pinky finger, where it definitely looks like something very serious happened right at the base of the finger, around the knuckle, and then potentially either regrew or was regenerated or something like that. And that matches what you were thinking of. It would satisfy the requirements of that spell. The other thing that you notice, however, is that in the mutilated and skewered body, there are signs of incisions or surgery or modification around the chest. And when you kind of look into the wound, into the chest cavity, you find that in addition to all of the other rotted normal organs that you would expect to find there, there's a sickly gray bit of heart tissue that is way too large for her body and reminds you a lot of another dark gray heart that you've seen before and turned into a weird breathing apparatus to go to the moon.
Intriguing. Can I also, as we're like having this frustrating conversation with Uno where she's trying to figure out what to draw,
Right.
can I do an insight check on her, like, her I don't know, her intentions? Is she trying to deceive us into making a poor decision here?
Sure. Give me an insight check.
I think it's also importantly, would I even know about that spell to do this check to begin with?
You're like an expert in Arcana, right? I mean, give me an Arcana check. We'll find out.
Nah, I'm just proficient.
Just proficient? Give me an Arcana check. You would be aware that it is one of the very few methods that does exist. It's kind of like Revivify, except more expensive because it's automatic, yeah. It works on the same principle. It kind of snatches the soul while it is still lingering, rather than actually truly returning from the afterlife. It is just kind of it's a quick save from a very long way away. But it requires a lot of money, a lot of magical components, and a lot of preparation ahead of time. And you would also be aware with the 24 that it does still come with the exact same soul tax that Revivify does. Nor to the impression that you get from her, she's very difficult to read. She's very, very difficult to read. But you're getting a sense of cooperation and to some degree intrigue from her. She almost seems like ready to jump back in herself at this point. You don't get any vibes from her that make you think that she's like trying to trick you guys into jumping to your death or do anything weird like that.
Okay.
Most of what you're getting from her is the same frustration that you guys are dealing with trying to communicate through these dumb pictures. And as an artist, you can tell that she is definitely not one and has a hard time drawing.
Okay. I don't know if this is valid at all, but if I can, I don't know, like, provide assistance to her drawing with my own drawing skills. I don't know what she's trying to draw, but
I'm into it. Yeah, you could give me like a wisdom artist check to try to interpret what she's trying to say through her terrible scribbles. I like it. That's really good. As you kind of work with her over the course of 2 or 3 minutes to like get a vibe for what she's trying to express, she's trying to indicate that all of these experiments with the rat are kind of not really going to lead anywhere because the rat that you're holding is already lost. It has already lost an important part of itself, whether it's its life or its soul or some sort of mind matter or something like that. She believes that what you're holding is kind of just a useless carcass that does not really have any value to you.
Okay. Once I get that vibe, I'll just kind of place the rat in the corner somewhere out of the way to avoid it getting hurt.
You would also be able to interpret through this picture and through her other drawings. It's not. The soul is still somewhere, and it seems, based on her drawing, that it is through that portal somewhere.
Okay, it's like the rat's soul has been pulled through the portal, and all I have now is a rat body.
Right.
If I jump in there with this thread, is it gonna take my soul out of my body? Did Nomad's soul get taken out his body?
She kind of like she goes back to the previous picture where the guy was holding the thread going into the portal, and she taps that a few times, and then gives like a, it'll be safe, thumbs up as long as you're touching the thread.
Okay.
Will that even apply to Nomad? Doesn't he have like 1,000 souls in him currently?
She gives a very quizzical cock of her head.
Well, I'm pretty damn sure I only got one soul, so if nobody else going in there after him, I can. The rest of y'all got more important shit to do than I do.
Who's gonna cook breakfast?
Do you want any hypothetical last words you want me to deliver to Leah if you don't come out of that thing?
Just tell her I died fishing.
Oh,
But I gotta go and step in front of Nordo and just put my hands on him and try and stop him from going. Like, we should, before we start human experimentation, we still have other animals we can throw in. Why don't we have Shu make himself useful or herself useful for once?
Shoo! Shu looks offended.
Well, if
Pecks
I'm
at you a bit.
understanding Uno right, the fact that it got a soul or don't seems to be important. Should you have a soul? I don't know how that magic works.
Yeah, I'm really not sure because the
Give me-
familiar thing.
give me a religion check or Arcana, but religion will probably be a little bit better.
You were asking the wrong guy for either of those checks.
Yeah.
It's
a shame. It's a shame Nomad's not here.
Right?
Boy, you're just not sure. You know for sure that Shu is like a creation of magical force.
Hey, Shu, do you have a soul?
It does kind of a weird bird shrug. It doesn't really know either.
Shu, were you willing to take one for the team? I promise I'll bring you back as
There's-
soon as I can.
Emphatic nodding. Always, always, always ready to take one for the team.
Oh, Shu. This makes me feel so guilty every time. I know that you can't tell me no.
If it could
Alright.
respond telepathically, it would say, "I can't say no."
He can. He can now.
Oh, well, I
Because
can't.
I picked up.
I can't say no, boss.
Oh. I pull Shu in for a big hug.
You can
I
make
don't
me
know.
again, though, right? Like if something happens.
Oh. Yeah, like I've got enough to bring you. I've got enough on hand to bring you back at least 3 times right now. It'll just take some time.
Well, I'm a firm believer in the idea that a stream of consciousness is the only thing that really identifies the self, and as long as I can maintain my stream of memory when I'm recreated, then I'm still me, and I don't fear death. So send me in, boss.
You remember the last times too, right?
I do. They were very painful.
Oh, Shu. God.
Maybe she's just a masochist and is really into this.
All right. I feed Shu the rat that Nordo brought back earlier, and then I give him a big ol' hug, and then I'm gonna probably just like tie a loop in this thread around one of his ankles, and then I'll put my consciousness into Shu because that's a thing that you can do with Find Familiar as well. And,
Excellent.
I'm gonna tell him to fly in there.
All right. Shu flies in, and you begin to experience something very similar to what Nordo experienced. There is this stretching of time and this bleeding of light into color and then just blinding white. There's initially this dampening into silence that grows into a light hum, into a rumble, into a static that begins to hurt your ears. But after a few minutes or so, there is kind of a pop and a flash of white light, and your senses return, and you can see that you're flying back out, and Shu seems to be coming back out of the portal, and you guys all watch as no more than maybe 20 or 30 seconds after being thrown in, Shu emerges with this thread still kind of clutched in its talon, and telepathically it's like, that wasn't so bad. There was a jungle, and the tree was kind of like tired, or there was like I don't know, the thread was wrapped around a weird branch. I just unwrapped it and then followed it back to the portal, and here I am.
Unwrapped it?
Yeah, it was like tangled around a weird branch of a big old tree.
So you think we need to go in here, and because that's not what you saw. I know you saw the ice and snow and stuff.
Yeah, she's like, no, you get the impression that she went somewhere else and untied her own knot.
Yeah, just to clarify, I think I remember you saying something about when Nomad was looking in this portal, and I don't know if just he saw that, but it was like flashing like images of different places.
Yeah, and that is something that
Still
all
doing
of
that?
you have been able to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this might just have to be a timing thing, or it takes us to wherever it feels like.
I think
This might be a stretch, and it might be meta, but can I roll like a perception to have been studying it for a while and see if like a jungle or a snowy place that appeared are not appearing anymore?
Sure, give me a perception check.
Okay. Does anybody want to help with this, because I'm not proficient? Or can I maybe help somebody else with it? I don't know if you can help with the perception check.
So I could start watching now. I am proficient in it, but I have not been paying attention to the portal this whole time. So
I got an 18.
Yeah, you can like take a look now if you want and see what you see.
I'll try it out.
Sure. I'm rolling like garbage today. Sorry.
Yeah, Flick, it's just moving a little bit too quick for you to follow too well. You can tell that there are definitely a lot of locations that keep bleeding into each other. But Nordo and Vasu can both kind of get the sense that you were initially seeing a lot of green in these flashing images of different places. And you do still occasionally see this kind of sea green, jungly looking setting, but it seems to be coming up a little bit less often than it was before. And the one thing that does stand out to both of you is you clearly remember seeing some snowy mountains, and you're not seeing that at all anymore.
Shu, you willing to keep going at this?
Of course, I have to be.
Well, if it's gone, is it just going to keep getting rid of them as we go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth?
Say, why did Uno's? I keep watching this thing, and the place Uno went, Snowy Mountains, is gone. The jungle's still there. Uno, did you untie a knot while you were in there? You untangle the thread from something?
Yeah. It was kind of like sparking and hissing against itself and against the tree, but it didn't hurt.
Asking Uno.
Oh, Uno, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, she will nod yes.
And you did too, right, Shu?
Yeah. There was this thread was wrapped around the tree, and it was kind of sparking and hissing against itself, but I just kind of unwrapped it and then followed it back out.
Did you see like more of it around? Tangled around some more trees, maybe?
I didn't. It was just like a loop that came out and wrapped around the tree and then went back in.
Can I roll a perception check through Shu?
Sure.
Oh, I love his little sprite. It's been so long since I've seen it.
It's been a minute. No, too focused on the job at hand. Or wait, advantage? I can't remember if it's an owl or not.
Yeah, it is.
If it's an owl, then yes.
But he's a pseudo dragon now.
Yeah, it's
that's
a pseudo
right.
dragon now. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
So it's got magic resistance and advantage on some stuff, but
Yeah, I don't think
I think
perception's
I think that gets rid of the perception check advantage stuff.
Yeah. And sorry, boss, I was too focused on getting that thing untied. Just lots of green everywhere.
Oh wait. Keen senses. The pseudo dragon has advantage on perception checks that rely on sight, hearing, or smell.
Oh, perfect.
Also has limited telepathy and magic resistance.
I didn't see any others, but I did see a bunch of these weird, kind of big yellow cat things. They looked hungry.
Big yellow cat.
Yeah, like a tiger or some shit.
Oh, I'm glad you got out of there.
Yeah. Me too. That would have been painful.
Tigers aren't yellow.
I don't really know the difference between yellow and orange very well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because Shu is now a pseudo dragon, he does have the telepathy to anybody within 100 feet, so he probably will talk back at you if you talk shit at Shu.
Oh boy.
Just keep that in mind.
Uno,
Now I
do you
expect Feck to commit to it too. Learn,
Uno,
learn a Boston accent real quick.
Do you know why the snowy place went away in there, but the jungle didn't?
She kind of she holds her hand up again, and she makes 2 fingers or 3 fingers or 4 fingers, and she just kind of You get the sense that
That's helpful.
maybe she thinks there's other knots in other jungles.
Oh. But only, okay, they're not. Oh,
Do you think if we keep going enough, we'll eventually find Nomad?
that
He has
seems like
the
a safe
string,
bet.
right? So we just need to follow the string until we get to him.
Yeah. The safe and right and proper and good thing to do is to keep sending Shu in.
At least until we find him.
But boy, do I want to jump in there.
I'm gonna send Shu in at least one more time first.
Give me another D3.
I'll feed him another rat.
Sure. All right.
Consistent.
Shu. Oh boy. You know what? I'm just gonna let you see it so that you can act as Shu for a second. Shu emerges inside of a building. And it is enormous. Everything feels enormous from Shu's perspective to begin with, but it is enormous even compared to that. It is, everything is scaled up. The chairs are too big, the tables are too big, the people are too big. In fact, the people are giants, and there's about 4 or 5 of them.
What is this, a house for giants?
It seems to be. There is this big kind of almost Norse-style mead hall with a big fire pit raging down the middle and a lot of tables kind of off to the sides. There's a big wooden door or a double door at the end of the hall that opens up, and you can see through the windows there's kind of this blustering, wintry mountain landscape. It's dark. It's probably just a little bit past sundown. There's still a little bit of blue light that kind of gives a bit of illumination, but most of the light is coming from the torches and the fire inside. And then at the opposite end of the hall, you can see that there is a large war table. And scattered around that war table, discussing war things, presumably, are a whole bunch of giants. Probably somewhere between 4 and 6, I'd need to double check. And they don't immediately notice Shu. Actually, that might not be true. Let me double check real quick. Because Shu isn't very noticeable, but the portal is.
For what it's worth.
Okay, excellent. No. Shu sees that almost immediately after they appear, the giant who is facing that direction, so kind of on the opposite side of the war table, looks up and kind of cocks his head over towards the portal. Doesn't really even seem to notice Shu right away, but notice this big glowing white portal with a thread kind of hanging out of it. And he's like, what is this? Is this an attack? Everyone to arms. In Giant, which I don't know if you or Shu understand.
Oh, that's
All languages.
I gotta look up a thing up because I have that monk thing.
Oh yeah, you got that monk thing.
Got that monk shit. I just forget what it applies to actually.
Right, same. I'm looking it up now.
Tongue of the Sun and you can understand all spoken languages.
Okay.
Moreover, any creature that can understand a language that you can, So, okay, this makes it interesting because I'm
So notably,
Am I actually able to like command Shu and talk through his senses right now and
so
stuff?
the,
Or
the issue is right now you are Shu, you are not Vasu. From the
Right.
outside, when you're looking through the senses, you get that weird time dilation and a bright white light and static, and that's it. You are not able to see while Shu is in here. So unless
let me look up
Shu,
pseudo dragons real quick.
right, unless
I
unless
don't know
Shu
if they have a-
individually speaks giant.
I mean, he at least has limited telepathy. I don't know how that applies to like languages and shit.
It might.
He, I don't think pseudo dragons. I know Vasu definitely doesn't speak giant.
Right.
So
Then yeah, it is almost certainly the case that although Shu could telepathically connect with these giants, Shu doesn't understand what they're saying out loud in giant. But with that said, their intent is made very, very clear as all of them draw weapons and then immediately turn and start to rush over towards this portal.
okay,
what does
if they
Shu
do
do?
rush toward the portal, Shu's just gonna like put as much distance between himself and the portal as he can.
But they're gonna go through the portal. That's how portals work.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, that's yeah.
Your heart. You already said it.
Yeah, he's got 60 feet of flight. He's gonna use as much of that as he can to like be out of the immediate line of aggression between these giants and the portal, and then also try to look around for this thread and hopefully maybe untie it before they can go back through the portal. Because I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight like 6 giants right now.
All right, give me a perception check real quick.
Oh boy. A
As
shoot
Shu.
perception check.
Yep.
Yeah. Ugh. Ugh.
All right.
It is a 22.
It is a 22. What you can see is that this thread emerges from the portal and it wraps kind of over towards one of the tables that is about, well, actually, everything is giant. Let me measure this real quick. It's about 60 feet away, and it is wrapped around the enormous wooden leg of this table, where you can see that it's kind of twisted into a knot. And then it goes
You
back
say
to the
about
portal.
60 feet away.
It is 60 feet away.
That is exactly the fly speed that Shu has in one turn.
Okay,
He's-
excellent.
He's beelining for that.
And he does. The giants all definitely notice that happening. Let's see. You can use your movement to get over there. And once Shu is over there, you can see that this thread is wrapped around the heavy wooden leg of this table.
Oh no.
Right. You still have an action on Shu. What does Shu do?
Hmm. How tall is this table compared to the giant? Like, would they have to squat down to like reach under it?
Yeah, almost certainly. Like it's the same proportion of a
Shoot.
person to a table.
Shu hides under the table as best as he can.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
Not even necessarily like trying to hide and be hidden, but just like go under there and make him be like, oh, I gotta get this fucker. He's hiding under the table.
Right.
To provoke them into picking it up.
I like it. That's clever.
Flipping the table. Is it clever enough for inspiration?
Yeah, it's pretty clever. Trying to trick the giants into flipping their own table over. I'm into it. You can have inspiration.
Hell yeah. Do I get that inspiration or does Shu?
You share it.
Okay, cool. But yeah, stealth that I'm hoping not to do like a nat 20 on.
I mean, for what it's
Oh.
worth, I don't like penalizing success, so like rolling well is always going to be a good thing.
Okay.
Okay. Because the goal here is to get them to flip the table, Shu makes a little bit of a show of flying over towards the table to make it clear that something is hiding under the table. And then they kind of duck up and hide in the weird crook of the construction.
I was gonna say if there's like one of those like a shelf or something.
Exactly.
He can cling onto. He can.
Yeah, Shu is able to find a spot to tuck into where like they're not just gonna see by bending over and looking under. They're gonna have to like topple that table to get a really good look once they don't see Shu. And it seems that is what they're going to start to do. They're going to start rushing over. 2 of them rush towards the portal and get ready for more things to come out of it. One of them starts to look at this thread and starts to stamp his foot on the thread, and reacts kind of oddly when it illuminates suddenly. But then one of them, the one that seems to be in charge and kind of the biggest of all of them, goes over to the table, bends over, realizes he can't see anything immediately, and then, just as expected, just kind of uses one hand and shoves that table up into the air, sends it flying.
Excellent. Is that enough to untie the knot
It
on its
does.
own?
It sends the loop free, and it begins to kind of slowly draw itself back in towards the portal. And I will be right back because food is done, and then we'll pick up from
Oh,
here.
boy.
Yep. So sorry.
It's a good. This is a more of an intense moment that I expected Shu to ever be in. He's such a trooper. Nordo, how many more rats do you have for him?
Sorry, I'm just getting back. Got my drink. Did he get it? Did he get the thing?
Apparently he was able to, like, taunt / hide well enough under the table to get the giants to just like flip it on its own and get the knot untangled as soon as the leg was up in the air. And the thread is apparently going retracting back toward the portal, and then Feck stepped away. So
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, I've got. I think that was the last rat. I think what I have left is a cat and
I
bird.
mean, he'd probably eat one of those two.
I'm thinking the same thing, Flick. I think. Are we both thinking
Yeah.
of the same thing?
Yep, I think we're both thinking the same thing. Yep.
What is? I'm so concerned.
So we know Nomad went into, like, or at least we think, into my world for my first campaign, into Mustard's business, and there was like a snowy place with Goliaths in my first campaign too. So I think that might be where this is.
That might be where we are, I think.
Seems reasonable. Were they nice?
No.
They were nice to the party because they made some deals with them, but they were not nice.
How did they feel about pseudo dragons that look like little owls?
Dragons. They have
this
a relationship with dragons.
Not a great relationship with dragons.
It's not really a dragon.
Apparently there's a war on, and they're very warlike people.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, the plan for Shu is to try to race back and cling to that thread, and hopefully the giants don't like stamp onto the end of it and stop it from moving too, because Shu wants to live, and I want Shu to live.
I'm just glad that Shu has a harder time with this one, so that we have a reason to send actual people into the next one. We don't want Shu getting in over her head again.
No. She's not expensive or anything.
But yeah, also the fact that they are at a war table and immediately were aggressive makes me think it's them.
Yeah, no, me too.
I'm just like, yeah, this is it.
I looked it up.
All of us with our C1 characters, just various campaigns.
I don't know where the jungle is.
Shu only speaks or only understands Common and Draconic, so that probably doesn't help.
Yeah.
But hopefully he at least recognizes the idea of a bunch of big scary men standing around a table, and the strategy and such. I don't know. He'll relay as much as he can if he survives.
Okay. Yeah, Kamumbo was the jungle nation we never went to, right?
Oh, yeah. Not Komombo, that was Mustard City, but what the fuck was it called? Ashuak.
Ashuak, yep. We never went to Ashuak because we never needed that hook. My current going theory is that when you roll this D3 when you first go in, that's what world you're ending up in.
Yeah,
and then
that would make
sense. Where you end up in that world.
Gotten a 3 both times and gotten settings that I don't recognize at all personally because I've been in that campaign.
So I'm waiting for like the Antolin number and the.
Oh god! Like if I roll one and I end up back like in fucking, Port Fortune,
right?
I'm gonna shit my pants.
But that's this world, unless it can take you back in time.
Whoa. Is this the same world though?
But then we're gonna end up in an Ashton Kutcher situation.
Is this the same world though? Or is there just 2 Unmirages?
I still think it's the same world.
Oh yeah, you're right, because we definitely found that same boat. But also that boat can like travel between planes.
True.
Or at least to the elemental plane of wind.
God, planar shit's so confusing.
It is. I wish I had any sort of DM knowledge for like how planes and spells work, because it especially like hit earlier when Drake and Feck were like, oh, do I know about this spell or how this like might relate to this spell? I'm like, I don't know. I had zero what spell you guys were talking about.
Yeah, me too. I think it was clone.
Yeah, it's clone.
Oh, okay.
Clone requires an inch of flesh from your body. And if you're going to take an inch
That
of
makes
flesh
sense.
from anywhere, it should be off of your butt, because that's going to
Exactly correct.
no one's going to see it. And you don't want to take off a finger like Uno, who's an idiot,
That's stupid.
because yeah. I'm also pretty sure that you aren't supposed to be able to regrow it back.
But how do I sit down if I have a hole in my butt?
Well, you don't take off a literal
Chunk.
cube.
Oh, you just
You just
scrape
like,
it off. Gross.
Yeah. It's like skin graft.
You're gonna like make my butt smaller. I don't want that. Okay, my foot's been asleep for like 10 minutes. I'm gonna get up. I'll be back in a minute.
How does that happen? But also, is it just like taking a vegetable peeler to your waistline? And you're like, that would be great. I'd love that. I'd love to lose another pant size. Or maybe not. I already have to buy all new shorts.
Yeah. But
So
yeah, I'm gay sitting, so my leg's asleep.
I don't know if you're going to lose a pant size from 1
Gay
cubic
sitting.
inch of flesh, but maybe. All right. Anyway, as this table is kicked up, sure enough, you see that the thread goes loose and it begins to be drawn back into the portal. It's moving slowly. It seems like it'll probably take maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds to 60 seconds for it to pull in on its own. But what you also see is that when these giants realize that nothing else is coming out of the portal, they kind of look back to the boss, and the boss says, well, what are you doing? Go in there. And you see, well, Shu sees 3 of these giants, one by one, jump into this portal.
Okay. Shu understands all spoken languages, so as long as all of that information was relayed out loud.
Wait,
Or,
does Shu? That's
she
you.
Okay, Shu understands common at least. So I mean, he wouldn't understand what the giants are saying, but he would have understood, hopefully, if Nordo or Ace or whoever was talking to Uno at the time relayed like that, if you go through the thread when you're not carrying, or if you go through the portal when you're not carrying a thread, you fucking die. Does he understand that? Does he get that?
He would at least understand the concept, yeah.
Okay. Shu's I don't know what kind of initiative order we're going in, but Shu's gonna fly back down to the end of this thread or wherever it is that he can catch up to it, and he's gonna kind of pick it up in his beak or his talon or whatever, and he's gonna let as many of these giants run through that portal as they feel like.
All right.
And then he's gonna go through afterward and hopefully not let anybody else grab onto the thread.
All right, excellent.
60 feet to fly. And I think he can dash too, but I don't know if that works with like picking up an item too. I guess that's up to you. But he's gonna let some of these giants just like go ahead and kill themselves.
All right. Outside. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay.
They go through.
Yeah. So back outside here, just like maybe 15 seconds after Shu enters, there are 3 back-to-back flashes of light, and 3 creatures suddenly emerge from this portal, kind of ejected with some speed. Although they quickly begin to drift and will presumably start to be sucked back in. As 3 giants emerge, one of whom is totally catatonic.
Just one of them?
Just one of them.
That's right.
Probably the one
You
who
guys
rolled a
think-
7.
Also, would I have been able to still connect with Shu's senses after he went through the portal, or no?
No, while he's in the portal, you just get white light and static.
As soon as that happens, he would kind of like pause that connection. So Vasu sees these giants coming out too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's bad.
Fuck
Oh god,
happened
where'd
in
that
there?
come from?
Why did she bring back giants? Don't do that.
Hey, don't blame Shu for this.
And this might be...
Who else am I going to blame? The giants?
Might have been Uno or Dos over there.
So this might be short, but we are going to jump into initiative real quick. Hang on. Let me just pull Ace and Nomad
Feck-
off. And
That is the Uno clone named Dos.
who knows, man?
In fact, can I save you a couple seconds?
Yes. Are you casting what I think you're casting?
Yep, probably.
Push
My
all
scroll
three
wheel's
of them
being dumped.
Portal.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cast Eldritch Blast and push them all back.
Good shit.
There we go.
Get
Okay, I can't get my spells to scroll properly. Ah! One second, let me reconnect my mouse.
Also, it might be a bit of meta to say, but the plan that Shu had, at least, was to let as many of those giants run through as they felt like, and then pass through himself with the thread. So, does he come through too?
Possibly.
Okay.
I'm going to give me
Okay.
an initiative 2 flick real quick. I'm double checking to see if any of them have anything for this. Okay.
I don't know how anyone functions with one monitor. It's terrible.
Easy enough. As soon as this happened, Flick, quick as ever, just fires 3 Eldritch Blasts with a shove, and all 3 of them are just immediately expelled back into the portal. So, jumping back to Shu's perspective, you watch as one by one these 3 giants kind of pile into the portal, and then one by one they are just ejected. One of which, or 2 of them kind of like scramble to their feet and like, there's something weird on the other side, but in giant, so you don't understand it. But then one of them just kind of lays there on the ground for a second, but then you see a, and then he starts vomiting immediately. So at this point, is Shu still going to try to just fly through the portal with the thread?
Yeah, I think that's the plan, especially hoping that their one comrade who's like seizing and vomiting on the floor distracts them from chasing Shu through it. He's just gonna dash back through with the thread.
Okay, give me initiative real quick.
Oh, boy. Hang on, I'm sorry, I have so many Roll20 tabs open because I popped out each character sheet into their own thing. I'm not the only one that does that, right?
Nope.
Okay, good. Where is the initiative on a monster sheet?
Top rightish, kind of.
Yeah. Oh, I have to select him. I'll just pull Shu out over here.
Oh, excellent.
Oh no.
Go, Shu, go. I've got my Vostok battle maps saved if you need them.
Oh no. That's a scary name.
Burrow.
It's a 17 hit.
Oh. Yeah. Shu is dead.
Delightful. Shu begins to make a break, carrying the thread back towards the portal, and there is hardly a moment of pain that it notices before it is expelled into the ether. From the outside, right after you see Flick launch all of these giants back into the portal, whoever's holding the fishing rod, I need a strength saving throw as you feel a massive tug.
Oh no. Are multiple people still hopefully holding that?
I assume so because you were prepared from last time.
I would have had to let go to cast the Eldritch Blast, so someone else should be holding it.
Well, Nordo doesn't let us fishing line fall for nothing, so I'll grab it.
Probably Toto and Nordo, if I had to guess.
What kind of check?
Strength saving throw.
I had to look for Shu senses for a bit, so I probably couldn't.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
As this sudden jerk happens, Toto is pulled off the edge and begins to drift rapidly towards the hole. Nordo clings onto this pillar and holds with his life.
God, I hate this mouse.
Sounds like Flick's got him, but if he doesn't, I would like try to rush and grab him. Oh, I guess I'm holding onto a pillar, so that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the 20 is enough to like stop yourself from going in, but there is good, like you don't have a free hand. Like one hand is holding the pillar, one hand is holding the fishing rod.
I'm with you. Okay.
How big? What is
I'm
the
trying to
pillar made
cast
of?
Dimension Door and just jumping and getting him, but I can't scroll through my fucking spell list for some reason. So
Oh no, Gale.
pretend that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'll say that like if you're casting Dimension Door, once
Yep.
is enough to get you down there, and then you cling on, and you feel yourself rapidly being pulled towards this.
Oh, I
thing.
was just gonna jump after him and then Dimension Door back.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fancy. Oh my God, what check would it even be to outpace the black hole? Give me
I'm swimming.
a jump good check. I mean, I feel like that's athletics, right? Jump good is
Yeah.
athletics.
Jump
You
good is athletics. Give me 1 second to refresh it and see if it'll actually work and fucking stop being a terrible system. I'm not saying I want to migrate to that other one, but
It is really nice.
in the future, it's real good.
I can't imagine migrating this entire campaign mid-campaign,
No.
but I will almost certainly run my next campaign on Forge. There's also
It's
a good
loading.
chance that the next campaign will be PF2, but also I don't want Drake to murder me, so it's still up in the air.
You said acrobatics, right?
You can accomplish.
Athletics.
Athletics.
I can always sit up.
Oh no, we want you to be part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Flick, I'm gonna say that like you jump out there, but like this thing was yanked by a giant, and it is falling towards this hole faster than you are. You can use a dimension door to save yourself if you want,
Okay.
but you're not able to reach him.
Give me a second.
Also, if we roll an initiative and stuff, it's at this point. How far away is Toto?
So
Toto,
something I would.
let's do initiative. Yeah, we're in a time. Actually, we'll just do round initiative. Flick is acted. What does everybody else do?
How far away is he from me?
Yeah, that's also what I'm wondering.
So the hole is 100 feet down, and Toto is 45 feet down.
Oh, well, never mind that.
Okay. Let me see how many spells I have left. I think I have 2.
I'm gonna just try to do the same thing I did with Uno's corpse earlier and dash down there and then dash back
Excellent.
after pick Toto. I know it's probably gonna be a lot harder with Toto because he's like a large metal dog.
He weighs a lot.
He's a strong dog.
Okay.
If you can just get him to me, I can jump back.
That's a valid plan. So all you need to do is get him. Well, yeah, no, because you're fine. Okay. All you need to do is get Toto to Flick, which is going to be easier than trying to pull this several 100-pound metal object away from a black hole.
That's right.
It's still going to require a feat of strength. I'm not even going to make you do an acrobatics check because you're fast enough and like dexterous enough to get to him. But give me an athletics check to try to shove him or pull him over towards Flick.
At this point, how far away am I from Toto and Flick?
We'll say that you are with Toto, which is 45 feet down, and Flick is 30 feet down, so he's 15 feet away from you.
Okay. Would you, like, if I'm already at Toto, like, Water Whip isn't going to be much good as it reads, but would you be willing to let me, like, wrap Toto up in water and fling him up to 25 feet closer to Moat?
Yeah, I mean, in theory, you could have flown to Flick and done that, so I'm cool with that.
Excellent.
So instead of doing an athletics check, give me a spellcasting check.
Ooh.
The DC here is a lot easier.
Is it?
Because, you know, that's what this spell is made to do.
Monks are wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do I add proficiency or anything to that?
You don't, but that is enough. I'm still eating.
Right.
You're able to catch Toto around the torso with this water whip, and just pull back towards yourself and towards Flick. Flick, if you're still willing to do it, you have enough time to now cast your dimension door and pop your boat back up there.
Yep.
And then Vasu, you've got a fly speed and you're very acrobatic and nimble. You're able to just kind of swoop back up and do it.
I was gonna say, even without the natural fly speed, I plan to break this movement up into 2 dashes and use the cloak thing. So
Excellent. Things are still happening though. Nordo, you feel like a continued tug on this rope, and you can tell that there's going to be another coordinated heave coming. And now you're the only person holding the fishing rod. Gale
Okay.
also has not yet acted. What do the two of you guys do?
Is the thread anywhere near?
The thread, there is a loop of it that is still kind of hanging out of the hole. And yes, so it's like tied to your fishing rod, right? So it is probably only about 20 feet down. And you've got it hooked on the fishing rod, although it is a very taut line currently.
Okay. Boy. Jeez. You go first, Gale.
I did a thorn whip and missed.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yep, that would do it.
Oh, and you know what? I rolled that too. And yeah, that would have been what Nordo did too. As soon as he saw Toto get pulled down, he would have tried to launch that, even though Toto was out of range, so it kind of just uselessly cracked in the air behind Toto. But I rolled that up there too.
That's legit.
That's what I did.
All right. Then the next round comes around, and there is another heave. Nordo, I need a strength saving throw unless you let go of it.
So to clarify the situation, make sure I'm visualizing it correctly. I'm holding a fishing pole that is attached to a thread, and they're pulling on the thread.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Seems to be the case.
Thread's the only way to say nomad. I gotta hold on to the thread. I'll make the strength save. Ooh, that's real bad.
It sure is. Without the help of Toto, you feel yourself topple over the edge and begin to make your way down towards the hole. You're about 40 feet down.
Okay. If I can, I'll try to just like grab onto the thread itself and not just the fishing line.
All right. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Does danger sense apply?
It does, yeah.
Perfect.
In a panic and recognizing what terrible thing might happen if you touch this portal without touching it, you pull yourself along the fishing line and just grasp onto this thread. You feel a surge of magical energy that kind of courses through your palm, and the whole thread lights up as you hang on to it. And
That's
with no resistance, you can tell that you're about to be pulled through this thing.
As I grab onto the thread, I look back at Vasu and so remember what I said. Tell her I went fishing.
All right, what do the rest of you guys do?
Just a second, I'll be right back. Sorry.
Sure thing.
don't you put that evil on me. And I'm gonna try to again use my 2 dashes to dash over to Nordo and grab onto him, and then maybe dash back. I don't know.
Give me an athletics check.
As soon as you get close, Nordo, like, I'm not gonna really actively resist. It's like, if Nomad's in there, getting the shit kicked out of him by giants, we need to get in there.
We don't know where he is.
Well, he could
There's
be
like-
in there.
There's up to 3 different places so far that he could have ended up in.
Uno, of all people, takes a running leap. She can't say anything out loud, but she seems to believe that it is very, very important that she goes down there. And you see she leaps down, kicks off straight downwards, and tries to catch up to you guys in time to grab onto this thread.
Look, I know there's a bunch of places down there, but this could be where Nomad is, and I ain't leaving him in there if it is.
Oh, damn you and your party sensibilities. What am I going to tell the D if we don't come back from all this? I won't be able to tell D anything if we don't all come back from this.
Oh boy, does she
You-
have this?
You bastard!
But you can't take a couple giants?
If we survive this, I'm killing Nomad.
That
It's just
sounds
a heads
bad.
up.
I'll help.
Same.
Also, don't you talk shit. I can take all the giants I want.
You take left one, I'll take the right one.
We just gotta come back through here. Somebody's gotta hold on to this thread.
Uno jumps short and can't reach the thread. She's going to cast a dimension door until she appears right next to you, Nordo, and clings onto this thread for dear life and gets ready as she is pulled into this.
So, to clarify that I've not misunderstood the situation, I'm about to eat my character to his doom. When people have gone in with the thread attached to them previously, they have gone in, untied knots, and come back out with the thread, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
During that time, there has always been, just as there was initially after Nomad went in, a loop of the thread that kind of hangs out and continues to just kind of drift around it.
Okay, and that is not what we're currently holding on to, correct?
That is what you're currently holding on to, is the loop of thread that is kind of drifting out of it. And granted, it was very, very large because you had untied some things and given yourself a lot of extra slack. But now it seems that one end of that slack is being actively pulled into the hole by something on the other side.
Okay. So if this pulled all the way in, we're probably just like stuck in this world or something, so we need to in and out fast.
You're not entirely sure what'll happen if the thread is pulled all the way into the hole.
Right, sorry, that's me speculating out loud. My bad.
Yeah, totally fine speculation. And for what it's worth, Uno jumped in after this thing.
I'm going to do as much as I can with mold earth to like hold this thread in place at this end with act stone.
Okay, give me another spellcasting check.
Can I spend key points to make it better?
You know what? Absolutely. For every key point you spend, I'll let you add a d4.
How much? Oh, I don't have a lot of key. Ugh. Can I use warlock slots to help this at all?
I mean, yeah, it's essentially the same sort of magic. I would let you add a d4 for every spell slot you spend.
Here is wisdom check because it's technically monk stuff, and I'm going to commit to at least spending one warlock slot on it at first.
All right. Oh, that's pretty good.
Does that bump up at all because my warlock? Let me look up what my warlock slots are at this level. It's probably not very good. I think it's like 2. I think my max spell slot is 2.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Go and throw on one more d4 because it's second level.
Oh, no.
With a 22, so you're not on solid ground, and that makes this very difficult to begin with. However, as you begin to channel key into the elements around you, you find one of these floating pieces of stone that has been broken off and is just kind of spinning like a meteor. And you begin to reach out and manipulate the key and pull it over to try to use it as like a resistance to help it add a little bit of strength to pull against all of this. And as you do, you see that the green arm from over your left shoulder reaches out and grabs the other side of it too, and just begins to kind of wedge this boulder into the loop to try to add a little bit of extra weight, a little bit of momentum. You can tell that you are absolutely not going to pull back against this, but you've at least slowed the rate at which it's being pulled in, and you've given everybody like an extra round or two to figure out what they're doing.
That's all I can really hope for at this point.
I'm gonna mimic Boss's movements, and the little boulder that he's shoved in is gonna turn into a big rock hand and pull Nordo and everybody back.
Ooh, what is this? Oh, fuck yes. Strength of 26. Hell yes. Okay, give me a strength check. All right.
21. I'm gonna flash.
Sick. That helps a lot. Okay, with this boulder that has been transformed into a hand and is now magically pulling against, you guys can start to feel it's at least a tug of war now. You're still currently losing that tug of war, but it's not going to be over in a matter of seconds. You kind of got like a little bit of time where you guys can continue to exert this effort and try to resist and figure out what to do. You bought yourself just a little bit of time to think here. But there's still this tugging. Gale is working as hard as he can with Vasu. Nordo doesn't really have a tremendous way to help here, I don't think, unless you have something I'm forgetting about.
Yeah, not really.
But yeah, you guys have at least bought a little bit of time and resistance to tug back against this thing.
We're glad we got it held still for the moment, but we got to stop whatever's pulling on it, or eventually it's going to pull it through, slow or fast.
Double checking the strength of these giants. Okay, yeah. You're making a very good amount of resistance, but it does seem that, like, all combined, they still outstrength you by a pretty significant amount.
So if that threat comes back through, we probably lose Nomad.
I think if they pull this thread through here, yeah, I think we lose Nomad.
God damn, that's.
I mean, we don't know.
Do we go in and fight the giants? I guess
I think we need to at least go in and get the rope and come back out, or thread. And
I don't know if
back
we can
out.
hold the line, but that might help a bit. If you guys are willing to take the risk. But in advance, goodbye, and it was nice knowing all of you.
I'm pretty sure I can pry it out of their hands and bring it back out. We don't got to kill them or nothing. We just got to get the thread from them and get out. Then it'll break whatever connected to it. At least that's how it did with the other ones.
Right.
Like hell, and I'm gonna take a stick of dynamite and we're just gonna fuck it into the hole.
I mean,
Let the fuck go.
Hell yes. Yeah, give me damage.
You know what? Fuck them. I'm gonna pull out a big old bandolier of 6 of them and just chuck the whole
Hell
thing.
yes.
Pull on a string and all of them pop. And I'm gonna.
if I want to help.
I believe it's an extra D8 for every additional one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. Oh, okay, that's a dex save.
DC 17.
Fail. Succeed. Succeed.
Like, I'm not trying to kill them. I just want them to let go.
Right, exactly.
Really?
You're trying to like spook them into letting go.
Yeah.
Let's
Scare
see.
tactics.
Okay. It's odd because you guys don't hear or see anything. You light this fuse and lob this thing in, and there's kind of just this anticlimactic nothing as this thing is sucked into the hole. However, you feel a few seconds later a sudden release of tension. And with your Big B's hand and Vasu's help and Gale's, the Big B's hand and then also Vasu's elemental control, you're able to very rapidly pull about 25 or 30 feet as it seems that there's been a release. And then it does catch again. And you kind of, you can feel that they picked it back up and are starting to reel. But it feels a lot weaker. It feels like you're making a lot of good progress now at this point. And actually, even with just the Big B's and Vasu's boulder, you're currently winning this fight.
Okay, my turn. Can I just cast Ice Knife in there?
Absolutely.
I'm assuming that it'll just get sucked in.
Oh yeah, you
because
just
it's a portal.
yeah, you fling this ice knife in, and it just does kind of a quick orbit and then whoop into the hole. And there's just a little bit of a tremor that kind of comes back out of the thread. You can tell that they're realizing now that you're able to like assault them through the hole. Anybody else have anything for this turn?
If I have gotten back to the point where I have solid ground, I'll start just physically pulling, and if I've not, I'll try to just replicate what Vasu's doing with my own mold earth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was gonna say I've got more mold earth shit. I think it might at least be maybe helpful to make the area count as difficult terrain. Maybe
Hell yeah.
Anything I can, and it basically whatever I can do and feel that would be helpful with my monk sense.
Yeah, let me get from both of
Flow
you
this
working together, with Vasu kind of helping Nordo channel his internal power. Let me get wisdom checks from each of you.
Hell yeah. Also, what kind of is it an item interaction to just like throw another stick of dynamite in there? Because I've got
It's an action. It's the use an object
Ah.
action. I wish to God it was just an item interaction.
In my
Maybe.
Rye's wildest dreams.
In Thackeray's wildest dreams.
Ooh.
That's real
Ooh.
good. So, as you guys begin to win this tug of war, Gale is shaping this thing into a hand that kind of reaches up to the edge and clings onto the bit of ground here that's still left of this floor. Nordo and Vasu working together, you begin to kind of almost weld the hand into the floor so that it begins to stick and form into one solid piece of stone together. At least long enough for you guys to kind of crawl up to safety and then turn around and begin to continue tugging. There is one thing that happens real quick, though. I think everyone at this point has done at least one little action, so let's see what they do. This one can do nothing. This one, he'll try it. We'll see how this goes. This is a disadvantage.
Also, this might be like backpedaling or reaching a bit. Do I feel anything when Shu dies?
You can normally get a sense for it, and it's odd because you don't currently have that sense. And for what it's worth, that sense disappeared the moment that Shu entered the portal.
I kind of figured something like that might be going on, but I
Right.
had to add.
You do see that a very large boulder comes flying out of the portal, but then it just goes tremendously wide, clatters off of the wall, and then gets sucked back down into it. However, right behind it,
Oh no, do they have dynamite too?
let me get a luck check from everyone. It's pretty
From-
easy
From everyone?
from everyone. You're just looking to not nat one a luck check.
It's a flat D20, right?
Hey, speaking of,
Oh no!
Thank God. I'm so happy.
I'm sorry, Flick.
As these giants realize that you can fling things through this hole, Flick just happens to be kind of leaning over at the wrong time as a bolt of lightning begins to rocket out of the hole. I need the dexterity saving throw. I mean, you're good at these at least. Hopefully.
Lordy,
we'll
lordy.
see. I just rolled in that one.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
And then does he have anything that he can send through?
Jesus, though, that damage.
Yeah, that was a hell of a lightning strike.
Damn.
Yeah, there was like almost nothing under a 5.
Okay. He's going to continue pulling because he's the strongest of all of them. With all of that said and done, you guys eventually get to the point where you have won this tug of war, and then there is a sudden release and then a rapid unwinding, a slackening as the thread is pulled through the threshold out of their grasp. You see that one of the giant's arms starts to stick out, but then loses the grasp and is pulled back in. And there is a rip and a severing with this flash of light. And when it's all said and done, you can see that there is just a floating giant's arm that orbits a few times and then eventually falls back into the portal.
Jeez.
The loop has gotten longer. You now have a lot of slack to work with.
Can I reel that in with a water whip? I want a giant.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank God we need that for Blue Veil. We've broken the veil.
We did it.
You've done
We
it.
did it.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking about Basu's weird tendency to collect bones.
Oh no, this is where it all starts.
It's happening.
First connection between two worlds is
Yeah.
happening.
Hey, you schmucks ever seen it on this big?
Definitely the
Look
very
at this
first
thing.
thing to show up in this campaign from
Definitely,
another
definitely not
world.
Patches or anything.
Totally.
The thing is Patches really from a world? Patches kind of is the world.
Patches is wherever he is, and wherever he wants to be.
Patches is life iterating its own existence.
I haven't done much like weird theory crafting before all of this, but God, I have theories about Patches.
All right. You're all relieved to see that the tugging stops entirely and there is no future resistance. It seems that you have undone that knot successfully, and everything is okay.
Nordo like in a bit of a hurry. It's like, well, we got to do it again, right? If this could lead to anywhere the Nomad could be in danger.
For your inventory, feel free to mark the left forearm of the Bloodstorm of Nagkoldir.
Just type that out real quick.
Sure.
Excuse me, who?
Does anyone recognize that name? I'm dying to know.
Yeah.
Not like in real life, or not like in character, but in real life.
Yeah, it was from my C1.
Okay. I knew it had to be from somebody's. Oh, you know what? After
I
all
didn't
that,
join your C1 early enough to know about any of this.
we can't use this arm for Blue Veil anyway. It's a magic item or a willing creature.
Give me a recap.
It's where Jeffrey's brother was kept.
Oh, those giants.
Oh,
Oh, I've seen the art.
That's not good. Those are bad giants.
those are bad giants. I'll be right back. My hands are really cold from stress.
That was pretty intense.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, we had to murder a very large spider on the ceiling.
Hate
That's
it.
fair. But where was it?
It was on the ceiling.
That?
Ominously.
Oh, okay.
He was just standing there.
Can I
What?
can I do a bit of hippie bullshit for you for a moment?
Sure.
Spiders are your friends.
I know they are.
As long as
spiders.
they don't wander into your personal space. I personally have at least 2 currently living ceiling spiders that I have named and I am friends with.
So, objectively
But
and
also
intellectually.
But also the second they crawl down onto my desk or
Oh,
like
yeah.
anything like that, I'm gonna fucking kill them.
Right.
And I feel like that's an unspoken agreement.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to build some bridges here because as a personal, very violent arachnophobe in the past, I did that a lot, and then I started collecting plants, and I was like, man,
So, objectively and
these spiders
intellectually,
are helping with all the gnats and shit.
I do definitely know that that is the case, and I know that spiders are our friends. But also, my caveman monkey brain says this is my house where I sleep, and everything else in it must die.
No, I get it.
So-
I totally 100% get that.
Yep.
And especially like if anything over 4 legs comes in.
God, we have centipedes too, and they are the worst. They
Oh
also...
God. Oh fuck. Oh God. Don't talk to me about centipedes.
All right.
I have-
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Those are worse than spiders, and I'm glad I don't have them. And I think that's only because I live on like a 2nd floor apartment. But back to the campaign at hand.
Let's do it. So yeah, everything for the time being goes kind of quiet. And you can tell, as Nomad did originally, that this thread is being gently pulled in at the rate of maybe like an inch a minute. But you've got like 210 feet of slack currently, so you have time to think and process and decide what to do next.
I'm just pulling the whole thing, just yanking that fucker.
Yeah, Vasu's also fully committed to just like reeling this thing back in, or at least holding it steady as much as he can.
All right.
But also, an inch per minute was my nickname in high school.
So you guys are able to pull and get a pretty decent bit more out until eventually you hit another wall where you can tell that you were pulling against some sort of a stationary object with like no give at all. It's that magical, just immovable object level of resistance.
Stationary object meet Big B's hand.
Thing's tangled on some.
I've been fishing before. I know that if you pull enough, it'll come loose.
Have you ever been fishing once in your whole life, Caleb?
I spent a long time in a submarine.
You did.
You don't fish in submarines. You'll die.
Technically,
we had torpedoes.
yeah,
But it's
you
the
beat
same
me
thing.
to it. We're on the same wavelength.
I feel like you can fish in a submarine exactly once.
It's exactly the same thing, and I'm going to throw a stick of dynamite in.
Give me a D3.
Can I recommend not throwing sticks of dynamite at wherever Nomad might be sitting?
If he was in danger, he'd be dead, and if he wasn't, this won't kill him. And it'll be a good sign from God that we're still looking for him. And also teach him a lesson about jumping into portals.
Absolutely.
I agree with that part.
That being said, you're right. I should probably chill out on the dynamite. I've only got so much.
Just like before, there is kind of an anticlimactic, just it gets sucked in and nothing happens. But, somewhere in the multiverse, there is an explosion, probably. What it
Well-
doesn't do is relieve the tension on this thing anymore.
Should we go in? Should just some of us go in? Just one of us go in? I don't think we should send Shu again. That didn't work out super well.
Well, I think it
Right.
worked out pretty well compared to what could have happened if one of us had gone in.
I think one of us goes in, we can just get it and come back out. Depending
Well,
on
not
what
if
it
there's
is.
4 giants there.
It's true. We could have
Is
gotten
it still
captured and stuck.
Is it still shrinking, the portal?
No, actually, I mean, very, very slowly, and the amount of expansion that it has done each time you undo a knot is so large that it makes the shrinking feel like kind of not an issue unless you were to wait for days and days.
I mean the portal itself,
Correct.
not the thread. Okay.
Yeah, same deal.
Cool.
You can also tell, actually, with just your passive perception, you're Nordo, as the portal has grown larger and as you've gotten more slack on this thread, some of the other floating boulders and bits and things in this room have been kind of drifting back into where you believe they probably belong. Nothing has gotten to the point where it is totally fixed, but it seems like the space is untwisting itself and things are being unbroken here.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, that's great.
Well, somebody's got to go in there, whether it's Shu or us. I guess we got to get new Shu if we're going to do that.
I think Toto's right. We should use the cat because cats love thread, so it'll naturally be inclined to untangle it.
Are you talking about a leave?
See,
That's
you-
racist.
Yeah, you can't be racist with 2 Tabaxi right here. It's different with Yule not here.
No,
Duh.
there was literally a cat outside.
Oh, it didn't work. I got it right here. When it lifts it up, it's like seizing in his hand. But Udo says it ain't going to work because it ain't got no soul or heart or something. Same as the rats.
Absolutely, Vasu. And like working together, you can kind of start to seal some of them back into place that are close enough.
But I'm out of magic, so I would like a break. But that's just me.
I'm
Oh.
definitely tapped too.
I don't know if we got time for a break if Nomad's in there. I don't know.
He
But
dug his own grave, bed,
Yeah,
made his own bed, something like that.
I'm with Blake. Nomad made a choice, and there are people here that are suffering and dying.
Vasu calls out into the void with a message. When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
Nomad's either fine or dead already. Like, there is no in between here.
Yeah, you're probably right.
If anyone can go into a giant black hole and make it back out alive, it's probably Nomad, because the dumb fucker seems to be good at that. Weird shit, I guess.
Exactly.
We don't know that, though. What if he's got himself in some sort of pickle in there and is waiting for us to come help him?
Well,
I hate
he
to
jumped in
sound
the
like
pickle
selfish,
jar.
or like, not that I don't like, or to like come across that I don't like Nomad or anything, because he's a good guy. But I think at some point, if he doesn't come back through this portal on his own, we might have to cut our losses and see what we can do on our own to help the rest of these schmucks.
Well, that's the other thing is I don't know as we can do anything to help these people without fixing this here situation. I mean, Uno just said this is right. Uno, can we fix these people without
Uh,
untying the thread?
as you look over to Uno, you realize that she was trying to sneak back over to her spell book, and she gives like an affirmative like thumbs up,
Which
like
okay, which spellbook? Because Vasu is holding on to both of those.
yeah, that one. She was like kind of terribly and awkwardly creeping up behind you to get that spell book.
Hey, you
Uh,
stop that.
she kind of like motions like, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.
Which one?
She points to the fancy one that you retrieved for her.
The first one?
The obviously necromancer one.
Oh, the second one. Can I trust you with?
She gives a big old thumbs up.
Can I trust you with this?
She gives 2 thumbs up and a smile.
Can I trust you with this?
She rolls her eyes and she kind of like points over to Gale, and like says a motioning like, go show it to Gale or go give it to Gale or something.
Maybe there's a spell in there that can help us. Let Gale look. Gale might know.
Yeah, I insight her, but then I'm also gonna pass this book off to Gale, and I'm gonna stare at Uno, cross-armed and very stern the whole time, and I'm just gonna say like, "Shu probably died for this."
She she rolls her eyes. Actually, I think she can still. Yeah. When you say that, she rolls her eyes. She like snaps her finger, and you watch as a pile of bones kind of like animates into a animated skeleton, and then she snaps it again, and it just like crumbles to nothing.
Don't you talk to me about the frailty and hypothetical impermanence of death.
I think she's saying that she's just a familiar and that you need to get over it.
Shut up! Shu matters.
As Gale is looking through this book, you see a lot of necromancy spells, and I can actually get you a full list of her spells at some point. But eventually you do come across Arcana 16. Yes. You would recognize that there is the catnap spell in here.
Ugh, beautiful.
You know, Nordo, who knows not shit about magic. It's like, all I'm saying is if y'all want to take a nap, that's fine, but I'll take my chances on another 2-3 giants if it means making sure Nomad's alright.
She has some things I don't want her having.
Yeah, I'm gonna just. Okay. Yeah. Right. Of all of us, who can benefit the most from this short rest?
I get like everything.
Say I am out of key and could use
Yeah.
the rage.
I would love that. I'm at like 3 key and half of my warlock shit.
All right. The 3 of you can take the catnap. I'm going to gag Uno and give her the spell book tentatively. And me and Toto are going to be like on her the whole time.
All right, excellent. Double checking.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
it
only
is.
somatic.
It's just somatic material. That's actually really good to know.
Yeah.
Um,
If it wasn't, I wouldn't have let her.
Legit.
That
But
makes sense.
Dimension
That's
Door is verbal only, so that works perfectly for us.
Excellent. Then, yeah, she's fine with that. She understands the terms. Elise also offers to stay awake and help guard. But she takes the book and she takes a moment to study. And it's weird. She like looks at it kind of funny, and you can see that she's really straining. But she eventually seems to kind of like get it, and she, turns the book upside down at a few points. And it is unusual, actually. Even in this spell book, her notation style is strange. It's bizarre. There's a lot of pictures, a lot of illustrations, a lot of symbology and arcane glyphs that are like just out of style and not commonly used, or possibly even her own notation. But one way or another, she gets the hang of it and she casts Catnap. And the three of you that were designated can get all the effects of a short rest.
outstanding.
She doesn't try any weird funny business. She folds the book and hands it back to Gale. And then she just kind of goes over to the wall and leans against it for about 10 minutes. And she kind of pokes at her own dead body.
Presumably, we do this in a different room,
Presumably, yeah.
just so that nobody's sleeping gets sucked into the hole.
What about you, little dragon? Don't you need to rest up?
Oh, desperately.
I mean, I'll be all right. I can make it.
No, you get a lot more benefits out of this than I do. I'm exceedingly long rest dependent. I need a long time to recover.
If you say so.
I can make do. I have 6 mana left, so
That's the same amount of mana as I have as a maximum.
Guys, I don't remember what hurt Vasu so much, but I'm after all those hit dice, I'm still down like 30 HP, and I'm scared.
Elise can do a big old group heal real quick.
If she wants, I don't want to pressure anything.
She's pretty good on mana.
I was
So
mostly taking this for the key point.
I'm
Say-
almost capped.
For me,
14
it was
health for
mostly
everyone.
the action surge
Bless.
and all the key points and the rage. 14 things. That tops me off.
If I wasn't the man I was, I would kiss you, Elise.
Okay.
Okay. God.
Do you
All right.
do you have
I'll-
the? And she kind of like holds her hand in front of her face and makes like a beak shape. Like, how does that work?
It's weird.
Is that
It's a
because
bit
you
hard.
are the man that you are? Is that what you
Okay,
mean?
oh, yeah, definitely. And I will give her a very literal, like, quick peck on the cheek.
Oh, okay.
It makes some things difficult.
This is a little fast. But I do like you as like a friend.
Oh, me too, definitely. I hope I didn't like imply that I didn't.
No, it's okay.
Is it? I'm sorry. Oh God.
At this point, she laughs and makes it clear that she's fucking with you.
All right. If no one else is going in there, I am. I think we should probably have a better plan than just that. But
Oh boy. I think Vasu's gonna still stick behind and try to just like strengthen and or hold the line.
maybe two
But
in,
I will-
two out's a good idea.
I will take that healing definitely, and all my key points back. 'Cause that'll definitely also help.
All right. Who is heading in then, and how do you do it?
I can stay out if someone else wants to go in. maybe more suited to holding on to the thread, but somebody needs to go in, and I'm willing to do it if no one else wants to.
Oh, actually. Oh no, she was dead. Fuck. Never mind.
Yeah, Vasco, maybe you can work on getting Shu back while we do this round.
I don't know if I can do that and also like build more strength on the mold earth at the same time. I think they're both kind of concentration. For now, I'm just gonna bolster that rocky hold I have as much as I can.
Okay, excellent.
So are we going in? Are we going to go 2 at a time? That way if we get lost, at least we have a companion to help us get back, and so we don't go crazy? I don't know.
Just
think
keep yourself nice and knotted, and we'll be able to keep it. We'll be able to pull you out. Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah,
You
I
should
think we should.
probably just
Okay.
get Shu back. And
Do you think?
yeah,
Anybody else feel like holding the line for 11
Sick.
minutes, approximately?
So I can hold this. I'm strong and I can do your earth magic. Not quite as good as you can, but I can do it.
Yeah, and for
No,
what it's
no,
worth,
I'm sure you got it.
just to make sure that I painted this scenario correctly, every time that you go in and undo a knot, it buys you more slack. So what you currently have is like a line going in a little bit more, and a whole bunch of slack that is just piled up back here.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like building as much as I can on this this slack with the mold earth and however that strengthens at additional levels.
Right, right.
I'm just saying, if we go in there and find some big fucking dragon, though, and it starts pulling on this thing, that slack will run out in a hurry.
that's why I think we should send Shu in first, just so that
No, I think that's a good idea. Wait and send Shu.
I think he's gone. He would have come back by now, right?
I
yeah.
think you can just make him again, can't you, Balthu?
I mean I can, but
You can also just poof him as an action and repoof him, right? If he was
can I?
if he was gone, yeah.
Is that
Or
how
if he
Find
wasn't
Familiar works?
If he
Yes.
isn't dead and is on, yeah, if he isn't
Check
dead,
if he's dead by trying to.
I'm pretty like out of character. I know he's very dead, but
He snaps his
Yeah, when
fingers
you-
and just cries.
when you do your best to summon, you find no response.
okay. Vasu takes his free action to like cry a little bit, and then assuming somebody else can like hold the line for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
I'll summon Shu again.
Elise will go over and stand and kind of hold on to it.
Same.
And yeah, nothing
Vasu
interrupts
is
you.
like ugly sobbing the whole time.
Uh,
Shu!
10 minutes later,
Every time Shu has ever been summoned, she appears to see Vasu just ugly crying over a bowl.
Yeah.
you've reformed me from your sorrow. I exist to serve.
You know that doesn't make this any better, right?
What happened?
What? You didn't come back through the portal. What happened? What did you see?
I was.
You had a stream of consciousness, right? You have object permanence.
Yeah, of course. You threw me into the lava, and then it was very hot, and then I died.
The lava. There
That's
was no
months
lava.
ago.
Uh-oh.
I say. Oh, I don't know what to think of this.
Didn't that
Sure.
happen earlier?
Everything
Do you
since
remember a portal? Do you remember giants at all?
Yeah, there was you were trying to figure out the portal, and there were like these big warnings that said something about death, and you're like, oh, we have to sacrifice something, so you threw me into the lava. Did I do it?
Yeah. You did great, buddy. Oh no. Beck, how dare you?
So weird.
How dare you make me feel such guilt for a fucking familiar?
Anyway, what are we doing now?
We're just gonna stay here for a bit, and we're gonna hold this line tight. We're gonna go fishing for a while.
All right, I like fishing.
I clutch Shu tight
Oh,
and also continue to hold the line with as much Molders as I can.
I'd hug back, but I only have wings.
You can hug with those too. You just gotta get creative. I'll demonstrate.
Okay, and she
I
figures
make a
it-
cocoon around Shu, and I will subtract one of my castings of Find Familiar from my inventory, and that's my turn.
Excellent.
We're gonna find out that Nomad died like 90 seconds ago.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I wait.
It's okay. Shu
I
hit
wait-
heavier.
I wait 12 seconds and then I just punch Shu into the hole.
I'm assuming since she wasn't on this plane when she died, her save data did update to the cloud.
Yeah,
So when you did
correct.
the backup, it was the old backup.
Yeah, that was her last self-sacrifice was there. Eh?
Okay. What do I need
happens.
to roll against Gale to like hold Shu tight and my reaffirming and gentle and firm grasp?
I mean, you just got to beat
Not a
a
lot.
12. Yeah. Acrobatics.
I'm supposed to be good at this.
Yeah, fucking +8 over there. It's all of
Is it
Cricket's.
acrobatics or athletics?
Yeah, either one. It's all of Cricket's steel wind strikes from last session.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're fine. You wouldn't let go of Shu
How-
for the world right now.
How dare you?
We
I-
have an emergency here.
I, as gently as I can, pass Shu off to Nordo.
Okay.
I tie a knot in the thread around my own ankle, and I fly into the portal my goddamn self.
Oh,
I love it.
hell yeah! Give me a D3.
Oh boy.
Solange. Just kidding, it's a different world.
It's not a 3!
It's not a 3.
Hey, I wonder what it is. Although that theory is broke anyway, because those giants weren't from my world.
Vasu, for the first time, I can just pull you over to the map.
What?
Oh. Juicy.
You emerge in a very verdant and green place. You can hear the sound of flowing water. You can smell vegetation. You can hear jungle birds. And you can feel moss-covered cold stone, although it's, I guess, warmed by the bit of sunlight that comes through the treetops below your feet. You can see that about 40 feet down, there is a big old lake or a pond of some sort. And there are a handful of small rivers and streams that kind of feed into it. Let's see, you can also see behind you, immediately behind you, a very large white portal with a thread coming out of it, part of which is still tied around your leg. That's the wrong shape. Here we go. And then you can see the thread coming from it that leads, with a fairly taut connection actually, up about 30 feet to this ledge, and then over the ledge and through the middle of what appears to be a seam in a stone door.
So I'm here?
Yes, you are right at that portal. Also, I don't get what Gale is currently referencing.
You're a liar.
Maybe. I forget. Hang on. It'll come back to me. Okay.
Find out.
Okay.
This is something totally.
Wait, sorry, repeat that? I thought I heard my name. But I talked over it. Did you say Philo something?
Nope.
Okay.
I think he said we'll find out later.
Okay. Sorry, I'm very tired. What is the thing on the opposite end of this line?
So you can see that you have to look up a little bit. Like, there clearly used to be a staircase that went up to this other platform across from you. And then at the back of that platform, there's a stone door with a seam straight through the middle of it. And it looks like the thread is through that doorway.
Okay. I've got. Okay. Thankfully, I did just get that catnap, so I've got. What's 75 times 2?
A lot.
150.
Yeah. I will spend a key point to dash as a bonus action way over there.
Alright, it takes no real effort for you to get over there. However, even with just your passive perception, you do realize that there is a large sleeping dragon. Not even large, it looks adolescent. There's an adolescent sleeping green dragon that is kind of resting on this broken staircase to your south. So if you want to give me a stealth check to just not be extremely loud as you fly over.
Absolutely.
That's plenty. It's sleeping, it doesn't notice you. There's already the sound of jungle birds and rushing water. A little bit of extra flapping of wings doesn't wake it. When you get over here, you can see that the thread kind of comes over the lip of this ledge and then into this doorway, where it kind of slithers between the two halves of this stone doorway, which are slammed and sealed shut around it.
Okay. That was just bonus action with a key point and movement, so I will use my action if I need to like collect this thread as it's kind of raveled itself around this doorway.
Alright, as you look it over, you can tell that it's not like wrapped around a doorknob or anything. The thread goes through the middle of the seam of this door. In other words, you get the sense that it is probably tangled around something inside past the doorway.
Oh god, another door? How deep does this all go? Okay, that's pretty much all I can do with this turn.
So we're kind of out of turn order right now. You're free to just
I've used
explore.
movement. Yeah, I'm gonna open this door as quietly as I can.
Alright.
And see where this thread leads and hopefully be able to pick it up from wherever the end of it is.
Alright, you start to kind of push against this cautiously, trying not to make too much noise to wake up the dragon, and are immediately faced with the resistance of a heavy stone door that does not push open. It doesn't seem like this just swings or pulls in and out.
Stone door, you say?
Yeah, it's like two large
I
stone
see it?
slabs that kind of meet together at the middle.
Can I see it?
You can.
You think a little rock can stop Vasudeva? Sorry, I gotta find the spell. I renamed all of them. Push that shit out of my way as best as I can.
Give me a wisdom check. You immediately face resistance, magical resistance. You can tell that there is magical protection that keeps this door open, and it is probably opened by magical means. But you might be able to overcome it. Let's see how it goes.
Spellcasting, is that?
Yep, wisdom check.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, the effect is stronger than you're able to deal with.
No, I'm gonna spend my inspiration on.
Okay, hit me.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, try as you might, whatever effect is magically controlling this door is just overwhelming the natural key of the stone used to construct the door.
Fuck you! I'm the locust!
There's a bit of a
Oh,
rumbling
you bastard.
from the dragon behind you. But it does
Oh,
work.
what?
There is a bit of a from the
Oh, no.
dragon behind you as you struggle against the door.
Vasu shuts himself up. But I think that's all I can do with this turn. If there's anything else in initiative order.
Nope, we're out of initiative. You can just kind of explore.
Okay. So this spool is through the doorway, and the door is shut tight.
Yep.
Like real tight, right?
Real tight, real tight. And it seems to be a magical door. There's probably a magical way to open it.
Do I get what kind of school of magic it is?
You would immediately be able to tell that it's abjuration.
Okay.
And actually, with detect magic, you can also see that there are 2 more spots of abjuration that light up within 30 feet of you. There are 2 recesses, one here and one here, each about the size, about big enough to put a bowling ball into, and they both light up with abjuration magic as well.
Do I see any other bowling sized or bowling ball sized magical objects within 30 feet of me?
Give me a perception check.
Oh boy. Also, to the rest of the party, I'm sorry for being the only one to go through these portals aside from Nomad, but
Yeah, for what it's worth,
Oh no.
back outside, what do y'all do?
I feel like I had to get something done.
Oh, I love it.
And I was emotional about Shu. Perception check, right?
Yep, perception check. All right,
Ooh.
excellent. Before I tell you the results, back outside, you guys watch Vasu jump into the portal. Do any of you guys go in after him or have any actions, or do you just watch and wait?
So I look at Gale and Flick and say, we said buddy system. Should someone go in with him? Will we even be with him if we go now, or we would go somewhere else?
I don't know. I feel like we had to go through at the same time. Maybe. But then that might not work, or it might be like, take you where your soul wants to go. I don't fucking know this shit.
Is it still like, are the images in the portal still like moving and changing, Feck?
They are, yes.
I just have a hand over my face.
Alright, I feel like if we go now, we'll go someplace else, and then that's just... If we all come back through this portal with a dragon chasing us, then we're fucked. But if one of us does, maybe we can do it.
Let's give him a minute at least. Hope it goes well.
Right.
All right, Vasu, with your perception check, looking around, you do actually see 2. They're out of range of your detect magic, but they're glowing with a soft white light, and it's very obvious that they're magical. One of them is easy to spot because it's down in the water. Probably the water is about 60 feet down from here, and then it looks like it's probably another 30 or feet below the water. But you can still see it just kind of glistening up from underneath this kind of crystal clear water. And then the other one seems to be coming from kind of tucked underneath the dragon's arm, where he is curled up on a pile of various coins and treasures, including a lot of pretty large pearls. But it seems that he may have mistaken this white bowling ball-sized glowing crystal object for a pearl and is sleeping on it as part of his hoard.
The character grid comes in. How big is this dragon's hoard?
Boy, a decent bit. It's a pretty big haul. You imagine it's probably worth a small fortune, way more than enough for any reasonable person to retire on with a castle and servants.
I hate this. Oh. Do I have a whole turn to act on?
You're out of initiative currently.
Okay. How far away is the dragon from me currently?
He is about 10 feet below you and about 90 feet over.
Ooh. And how far away is the portal from where I'm currently at? And also this other pearl thing?
Yeah, the portal is about 30 feet down and 150 feet over. The water is 60 feet down and then another 30 feet below the surface of the water, best as you can tell.
Why is everything so far away?
You move real fast. Like, you can get to any of these places in a matter of seconds. You fly very fast.
That's a whole turn, though.
You're not interns. You're out of initiative.
Turn order.
Okay. I'm gonna fly myself over to this other pearl thing first, and see how hard it is for me to like pick it up and carry it and also move at the same time.
All right, the one under the water or the one that the dragon is sleeping with?
The one under the water. And if I absolutely need to, I'll fucking use my action to like make a little splish splash in the water to give myself water breathing or whatever if I need to with those bracers.
All right, give me a perception check as you approach.
I shouldn't have gone through this portal, you guys.
I think you did a fine job.
I definitely should not have.
Oh, God bless. As you dive under the water, being careful not to make so much of a splash that you wake anything up, you begin to swim under, and it's kind of nice. It's cool, it's crisp, it's refreshing. The water is crystal clear, and you can see pretty clearly all around you. Or at least...
I did mention like giving myself a swim speed if I had to beforehand,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you've got a great swim speed. You're able to move very adeptly, and you start to swim over to this glowing orb of obviously magical something or another.
What kind of magic?
It looks like abjuration. It matches the size and the aura that everything was giving off by the door. And you start to reach out for it, and your hand bumps into something about 2 feet too early. And then you start to look around, and you realize that the shiny, bowling ball-sized, glowing white magical orb thing is surrounded by this filmy, kind of transparent stomach. And you can see that there is a glassy, kind of transparent lower intestine and a liver, and it becomes clear to you that you've seen something very much like this before, and the last time that you encountered it was very, very unpleasant. As the head of another glass worm turns and looks at you, and you realize that it has swallowed this magical thing. Roll initiative.
Okay.
Or I guess
Also,
I do
how much movement have I used?
We'll say we're in like a fresh turn. We're starting at initiative here.
Okay.
You do act before it does, though. So you are free to do as you'd like.
Can I still see the other orb from where I'm at?
The ledge next to the sleeping dragon.
All right. Vasu's gonna do what Vasu does. Especially since I just got all my key back. I will declare a flurry ahead of time, but also probably a stunning strike on any hit that hits.
All right, excellent. I believe a 15 is good, but let me double check. No, actually, 15, you kind of punch into the fleshy side of this thing, and you just don't connect strong enough to really hurt it.
Okay. Here's the second free attack.
That one will do it for sure. It's a big old hit.
That's a damage.
That is a lot of damage. The fire seems a little bit less effective underwater, but it's still a big hit.
Oh, God. We're underwater?
Sure are, 30 feet underwater.
30 feet underwater, you say?
Yep.
Okay, I need a con save?
Yes. Ooh, 19?
Ooh.
I can't remember what yours is.
It's
think it's
18 right now because your whiz is 1 point lower than mine.
Alright, it resists that one. You've still got 2 more unarmed strikes if you want.
Yeah, I did declare the furry ahead of time. Word.
Yep.
Here's 2 more.
Another good
26 hit?
Yep.
Give me con save?
That is a fail, and this thing, as
Good.
quick as it started to lunge at you, goes limp.
This is probably a stretch, but can I see any glowing magical objects down its esophagus?
You can definitely so this thing is translucent all the way through, including its organs. So you can see the path down its throat to its stomach where this thing is resting in its stomach.
Okay. I did already declare my bonus action to flurry, so I can't water whip this thing out of me or anything, but how close is the other orb to me?
It's way, way up in the air behind you and out of the water. It's a long way away.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna just ride this flurry out and hopefully kill this thing.
Alright. Its turn comes and
Maybe.
goes because it is stunned, so it's back to you.
22 for 14.
Yep, another 14 is good.
I will also say, because it's stunned, and if you'll let me, I will use my movement to dash back and forth 20 to give myself advantage on attacks and stacks and burning on it.
Absolutely. Although
So
you do see that
here's-
the fire is immediately extinguished by the water.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You've got advantage from stun anyway.
And that's why I need to rework this weapon.
Yep.
Whenever I can bother the artificers with 12 hours of time.
All right, it's back to you.
Okay. Has the other thing moved any closer?
Nope. It's still just tucked with the sleeping dragon.
Okay. How's this one next to me look?
Currently just stunned and it's in a stupor. You've connected with its key, and it's just sitting there stunned. You've dazed it.
Okay. I will use my movement to dash back and forth. Actually, I don't think I need to because it's stunned still. So.
Yeah, you've already got advantage.
It does take another D10 of fire damage on its turn.
It does, except the fire's been extinguished by the water.
Even if it's key fire?
Even if it's key fire.
That's dumb.
I know.
Okay.
All right, what you got?
So I was just catching up on like my key point stuff.
Gotcha.
Since this guy is still stunned and everybody else is too far away, I mean, do I need to give myself advantage on it if it's already stunned?
No, it's stunned.
Okay, then. Sorry, I figured how mechanics work. I will keep attacking without moving.
All right, go for it. Give me some attacks. That's good.
It'll take an extra D10 of fire damage if I can underwater.
It does. It just takes half, and then it immediately extinguishes.
It might add up.
All right, keep them coming.
Here's the second attack as the main action.
Another good hit.
28. How's it look?
Honestly, it's looking okay. It looks about 2/3 ish.
Okay. How's the other guy look?
Still asleep, way, way far away from you, out of your sight.
Okay. How far away am I from the portal? And also this guy?
If you wanted to, you could fly back up and out to the portal using all of your movement and a dash action. You could get there in one turn.
Could I bring him along with me since he's basically stunned?
He is stunned. Yeah, he's very large. Like, I don't think that you could, no, not even with like a very good athletics check. He's just way too big and heavy for you.
Could I use a water whip to like eat him into the gravitational this black hole?
I would let you try a spellcasting check to like manipulate the water. It's going to be very, very hard, but you could try it.
Hey, you guys beat this up for me. I got another one to deal with.
God. I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast you both back through the portal and try to...
don't.
Just elevator door, hit the close button. Nope, not dealing with this shit.
Yeah, I won't do that. I'm gonna hold on to my key points.
Alright, so you're going to fly back out on your own? Get some help.
How far away am I from the portal?
You could get there with a dash action in one turn if you wanted.
But like how far is it actually?
Let's see, 95 plus another 60. Pythagorean that real quick. Those are big numbers. About 112 feet.
Excellent, just within range. So I beat a little more shit out of this glass worm. and then I will use the item interaction of my cloak to dash, 112 feet?
Yep.
Maybe 110?
Yeah.
So just so I don't immediately get pulled back
Yeah,
into
we
this.
can round it in. And that basically gets you
Yeah.
like 10 feet out of the portal.
The intention, probably against my best wishes, is to not go back through the portal at this point. I'm going to get real close to the portal. It might suck me back in on its own at this point, but I will also try to use a message to send. I mean, we've seen spells and shit go through that before, so I'm going to try to just message to anybody in the party on the other side of that portal. Let's try. How many people are present right now? Like,
Gale and Nordo and Flick could potentially possibly hear
so
you.
a D3.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. Gale,
whoever was first on that list.
Gale from the outside. Presumably, there is a. When you approach this portal, Vasu, it does kind of pull you into it a little bit. It's got a little bit of gravitational field of its own. And for a moment, you feel this transfer, this sensation of being pulled through the portal. But then you kind of bobble for a moment before getting sucked back in through the other side. And during that bobble, you fire off a message to Gale, and all of you outside can see Vasu momentarily reappear, and then fire off a spell upwards to Gale, which says,
Hey, stuck here. Might have the thread down here somewhere, but might need a bit of help.
and just like that, he disappears back into the portal. And you guys can decide how you'd like to respond to that.
Did y'all see that?
Unfortunately. I swear to God, if we all get separated in different worlds, I'm going to find all of you, then bring you into one world, and then kill all of you.
I didn't see anything.
You bastard.
Lord, let me make a check. Same. Okay.
What?
I ain't leaving him in there to die. I'm going. Y'all can stay if you want.
You're not even gonna end up in the same world. Like, you're gonna.
Well, those giants came back, and then they went back to the same world, probably, right?
I'll take my
How-
chances. I'm going. I jump down and start climbing.
All right. You watch Nordo take a leap for it. Nordo, give me a D3. Very nice. Nordo, you appear on this same map, popping out of the portal, and you can immediately see Vasu, presumably still by the portal, drenched in this jungle water, and covered in this weird, slick, slimy glassworm blood.
Excellent. I recognize that immediately as Big Boy.
Yep, and the glassworm can't like follow you out of here, but you do see now that it is like moving around in the water. It has been woken up.
I think he's got a thing we need. And maybe that other one over there, too.
Yeah, he points up and you can see that there is a sleeping green dragon on a horde.
Also, can I be a bit emotional and say how glad I am to see you or anybody ever again?
Yeah,
I went through that portal and I got real half glass empty.
I'm glad to see you too, Vasudeva. Here, you sound like you need to talk to Shu. I'll pass Shu over. That's been sitting on my shoulder.
Hey,
Does that
bud.
work?
Yeah, we both came through at the same time, I think. So here I am.
Oh, shoot!
Hey, no, quiet. That thing will lead us.
Yeah, maybe keep it down a little, Vasudeva.
I wrap both Shu and Nordo in a very emotional group hug. Jarl probably has to help a bit with it, but I'll do it as quietly as I can.
All right, excellent. There's a reunited trio.
Don't get too excited yet. We still got to get out of here. That or you and I start a new life.
Oh, that's
wherever
no
the
problem.
fuck this place is.
Do you think
So-
we could do that together? Just the two of us? How does that work?
What's the skinny on the situation here, Boss Diva? Where's the
There's a big worm over there. I'll kind of point to the stunned worm that has a probably even very obviously glowing magical object in it to you.
Yep, Norda, you definitely
And
recognize these things as well.
there's another one over there. And I point to the horde under this sleeping dragon.
Yeah, it's up about 20
Um,
feet from where you are, but you can see the glow of it from like under his shoulder.
and I think we might need to get both of those to come back through that. And he'll kind of thumb over his shoulder again to the portal safely.
All right. Well, looks like I already done a number on that worm down there, so maybe that one first.
I mean, he's stunned, so I think not to sound rude or anything, but even you could like go over there and get the pearl from it. But
So, although Philo's sense of time is currently skewed, it's been a minute or two, and this thing is no longer stunned.
oh no. Also, that
No.
was a very rude assumption to make, even in character, and I apologize.
It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay.
Is it?
That's what's gonna happen. Things will be okay.
Norda will step over to the edge and look down the glass room, draw his axe, look back at Vasadiva, say, then yes, if everything comes worse to worse, we could probably start a new life here. Then I'm gonna dive in the water.
Oh.
All right.
Sick. Okay.
All right.
Should I roll initiative?
Yep. Let's get this shit going again.
Well, that was gay.
Yeah.
No.
Has it been fewer than 8 hours since we came to Unmirage?
Yeah, you would still have it active. But you're first up anyway.
Okay, cool.
All right. You got the jump on this thing.
At what point am I? Am I mid-jump? Am I still up on the ledge?
You kind of it's up to you. If you want to take the jump from there, you can, or you can just kind of have initiative start right up in this thing's face.
Yeah, as close as possible.
Yeah, we'll say that initiative starts as soon as you guys hit the water and get right up in this thing's face.
Okay, excellent. In that case, I'll start attacking.
Recklessly.
I'm underwater, eh?
You sure are.
Reckless just gets rid of my disadvantage.
That is plenty. There's a 12.
Just gonna con save.
Absolutely. Oof.
Ooh.
Oof.
Atlanta.
Not having any of that shit.
Alright, here's the second attack.
Another good hit for 13.
I'll try one more con save. Atlanta.
Yeah, Vasu really lucked out on that first stun.
No joke. Okay, that's the action. And now I will do a bite.
Another solid hit for another 14.
And then an unarmed strike. Flurry of blows. I guess I should declare that, don't I?
Hey, it's fine.
Thanks.
4 for 4. And with that, you can tell that this thing is starting to look really roughed up. A couple of its teeth have kind of fallen free, and you can see this clear blood is kind of eking out like oil through the water.
Fantastic. Let me see. I have a thing, but I can't remember what it is. Okay, that's it. That's my turn.
All right, Vasu, fuck it up. Are you still with us?
I am.
Are you gonna be still with us?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like movement distances and such.
Sure.
Vasu kind of goes wherever he pleases, and it's different
Yeah,
than
no.
Daru.
You can definitely be wherever you want, including right up in this thing's face. And you can also get advantage with your charge if you want.
Yeah, I'm going for that.
All right.
I'm also going for enough movement to with the 2 dashes to get advantage on it and maybe move away again. But
Yep. Absolutely. You
we'll
should
go
be
with
able
the
to.
first part first.
Yeah, go and throw the attacks, and then you'll have enough movement left over to get away if you want. 17 unfortunately doesn't get through, even with the advantage. But number 2, that one does. All right, doing a flurry, or just a normal bonus action?
Yeah, bleeds. Oh, hey, can you give me a second strength save?
Yes.
I have to know if there's even a chance of them failing, but okay, you're good.
All right, takes a little bit of that extra fire too.
I'm gonna attack again and then probably just do a flirt.
All right, sounds good. Give me 2 unarmed.
Here's the second real attack. With
Okay, cool. You've already done your 2 real attacks. I just need the flurry with the unarmed strikes.
have I?
Yeah, you did the
Oh shit,
17
you're
and the
right.
20 up there.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Here's 2 unarmed.
Those are both good for another 20 points of damage. This thing is starting to look pretty shredded. Then you're able to fly away. It'll take an attack of opportunity at disadvantage because of your cloak. We are.
Sorry.
It's okay. Also, we can wrap it up real soon. I know it's getting pretty late.
I'm a big sleepy boy.
No, it's okay. That is a miss because of the disadvantage. It'll take its real turn and throw some attacks on Nordo
10 necrotic.
after taking 10 bleed damage. I think that hits Nordo,
Absolutely, it does.
and I need a dexterity saving throw. Just barely able to avoid being swallowed by this thing. But when you slip free, it's going to bring this stinger around and try to catch you. Which I think also hits 33.
Absolutely.
Need a Constitution saving throw against a fuckload of poison. This thing doesn't fuck around even at this level. Holy shit.
Sir.
Uh-oh. Alright, thankfully it is just damage. There's no weird effects on that poison. But there is this horrible burning sensation in your thigh as it manages to kind of catch you. But that does bring it back to your turn, Norda.
Fantastic. I'd like to attack it.
Good call.
Reckless. Can't DPS if you're dead, fucker.
Solid hit. Another good hit for 9. And that time, he is restrained. Yeah. Some of the roots, you're finally able to get them to lash far enough out into the water to just kind of pin him against the rocky wall of this pond.
Standing, so I'll do one more attack, and if it hits, it's a crit. Which, yeah, just one more.
Sure is for 20. Oh, wait, yeah, you're right. Sorry. 17 misses.
That's the worst news I've ever heard in my life.
Yep.
Let's see. That was my action and my bonus action. Gonna really hope that Vasu finishes it off. That's my turn.
All right, Vasu, this thing is pinned against the wall. You have advantage on attacks against it.
Actually, you know what? Sorry, I'm gonna action surge because it's worth it to get this temp HP, I think.
Absolutely.
Motherfucker.
Uh-oh. That one will do it. And the 20, Jesus.
No, only 10. I can only buy it once.
Oh,
so no
yeah, you're right.
HP. Genocrat. That's my turn.
All right, Vasu, if you're still with us, this thing is restrained. You have advantage on it. Give me some
I
attack.
am. I dash over.
— 23 is good for 10.
And an extra D10 of fire.
Yep. Woo,
Ooh.
good fire. Even underwater, there's this burst of flames that kind of scorches some of his innards.
Second free attack.
Oh my goodness, another big hit. This thing is almost dead.
Let it
Hmm.
bleed. I can get my temp HP. It's worth it.
I won't flurry, but I will attack it with an unarmed strike.
All right.
Just
Why
because
is-
I want to stick. I want to stick close to Nordo at this point.
It's a real gamble, because if it lives long enough to attack, that would potentially another 100 damage.
What's 100 damage between friends when I could get like 15 temp HP though?
22 lands for 13 slashing, and it is still barely holding on.
It does hit though, right?
It does hit.
Hey! Give me a con save.
I can do that.
So, Gale, do you think they're both dead?
Oh,
They've
no.
been gone a while, right?
I hope not, but
Wherein we lose the
If-
party one member at a time.
If I have
Right.
to watch my monk bro die in front of me while I'm this tired, I don't know if I can.
It's the slowest TPK ever. It's gonna be like
It
8
is.
weeks before we TPK over.
It's a TPK by attrition, and mostly voluntary decisions.
Yeah, I don't know if I can emotionally move on. Like Nomad did all of this, but I also secondarily did all of this.
Alright, with that,
Necrotic damage.
this thing just vomits up the last bit of blood that was still inside it. And along with it, you see that this floating, or this glowing magic bead of power begins to float to the surface.
While Vasu grabs the magic bead, I grab the delicious blood vomit.
Gross. Alright, you guys are able to emerge and catch your breath. It seems that because all of that fighting happened underwater, the dragon is undisturbed and still asleep. She was kind of watching from a perch up above.
I think Shu could pick that thing up. Is it too heavy? I'm gonna heft this thing in my hand and see if it seems too heavy for
Yeah.
a pseudo dragon.
When you get to the surface, you can tell that it is actually extraordinarily light, and it does in fact float even in water. So she might be able to pick it up.
I know I ain't sneaky enough, but bet she can handle it. I think Vasu
I think we
is.
lost him. Yep, I think it's happened. I'm gonna go ahead and have Shu do a stealth check to see if she can do it, or you can do it.
To it.
No, shut up! I just had to pee. Are we in the same place still? Can Vasu fly over? I'm very tired. I'm
I
sorry.
can tell.
I had
It's
a long
totally
day.
fine. Yes, you're in the same place. The glass ram is defeated, and you've gotten one of the orbs. Nordo is asking if Shu can try to sneak over to the dragon and steal the other one.
Okay. I honestly think Vasu is gonna have a better check at this. So, how far away is the dragon at this point?
You can fly up to it pretty easily. It's about 50 feet out of the water.
And how far away is the portal from the dragon?
I think it's about 60 feet. Let me double check. About 80
It's
feet.
notable.
Perfect.
Guess I'm gonna wait by the portal in case shit goes south.
Probably a good idea.
Instead of sending Shu over there, Vasu is going to dash up to this dragon with his cloak of canned heat, or one charge of it at least.
All right.
I'm gonna pick up this egg, or whatever it's like a pearl or something, right?
Yep. Kind of looks like a big glowing pearl.
As best as I can.
All right. Are you
And
trying to
I'm
do it
gonna
sneaky, or are you just trying to run so fast that it's all over quick?
A little bit of both. the cloak gives me 120 feet of dash movement, broken up over 2 dashes, which both don't provoke opportunity attacks and some other bullshit.
All right, excellent. Then go ahead and give me a stealth check at disadvantage.
And I'm going to stand over by where the store is and hold an hour of reaping. And if the dragon starts flying my way, I'm an hour of reaping.
Excellent, good call.
I'm going to hold it until Vasu's past me.
Stealth check, right?
Yep, stealth check, disadvantage.
Have to be disadvantage.
It does, I'm sorry. With that said, this thing is sleeping, so, you know, how hard could it be?
Hopefully not that hard.
All right, there's a bit of a shuffling as it kind of rolls over onto its other side. It kicks its legs and arms up into the air and does that cat basking in the sun thing. But you are able to slip free like the gentle breeze with the other one of these orbs. Presumably, you plant the two of them in here, and there's the rumbling of stone as these doors open up. And immediately, as soon as that tension is relieved, this loop of thread begins to rapidly retract over towards the portal.
Yeah, I will do my best to grab onto that thread before it comes through the portal.
All right,
I'll also
excellent.
run. We're both very fast anyway, but
Hell yeah. Give me a fucking awesome action movie acrobatics thing to ride this loop as it kind of rubber bands back to the portal.
Can I do it at advantage because I'm a monk?
Absolutely, and because of your fly speed. Mostly because of the fly speed.
Can I also still help Norda with it?
Yeah,
because
you can help.
He doesn't have a fly speed.
Yeah, you can help Norda because he doesn't have a fly speed.
Can I do athletics instead of acrobatics?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
All right. As this thing kind of rockets back towards the portal, both of you hook into it almost like a slingshot. And outside there are two back-to-back flashes of light that appear basically simultaneously. And you watch as Nordo and Vasu are both flung pretty rapidly out of the hole, kind of bounce off of a couple of boulders here and there, not enough to actually hurt them, and return with an extra probably 50 feet or so of slack from this thread. And you watch as the hole grows a little wider, but also begins to get almost translucent, like it is losing power. You watch as more of the room begins to connect itself back to where it belongs. And you can see that there are... actually, let me double check. Yeah, when you return, you can see that there is only one image, and it kind of wavers between a few different perspectives. But this one image that remains in this portal, this faintly kind of half opacity portal, is of a quiet little town surrounded by pink cherry blossomed trees. And every once in a while, those of you with very good eyes can swear that you see a little shop with an illithid man walking into it from behind.
Come on, Mo. Excellent. Seems like a perfect place to pick up when we have a nomad.
Yeah.
Okay, are we leaving off?
Yeah, let's go and we'll pick it up here next week when we actually like have all our people. Thank you for playing.
Good.
I know it was a small group. I actually didn't expect it to go the whole time, but it was fun.
So we're kicking those other guys out.
Oh yeah,
they're banned.
They're
banned.
They're dead forever.
Or do we just have two groups?
Honestly,
no.
Once upon a time, D&D was like a 4-man game, and you know, this new modern format just kind of made big parties more popular. But I don't know, you get a lot more spotlight time with just more people.
It's true.
Yeah, it's nice.
Also, Gail has been a delight this entire time. I love how he's connecting all this shit.